Hey everybody, and welcome to 20XX. Looking so forward to getting into this here today. I'm Nox, and I'm joined here by...
Hey Nox, it's me, Vic, and I'm ready to see some action today at 20XX by Dapple Productions. Hope you're doing well.
I am. It's always so exciting to get into this. And before we get into talking about these sets, just got to give a huge thank you to a 266.67 donation from Squidwaddle.
Wow.
And a $10 donation from an anonymous person. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure the players in Dapple are going to make great use of it.
Absolutely. It's just a great day for Splatoon. Did you know that it's Pi Day, Nox?
I did, actually.
And
I remember being
in a little bit of Splatoon action.
Absolutely. I also remember being in high school on the real Pi Day back in 2015.
Did they give you any pie is the question.
They did, actually. My Algebra 2 class gave me Pi.
Duh, I wish. I think all our math teacher did was just give us brownies a couple of different times. But you know what?
It's free food. Can't complain. But we are going to be getting into it here very soon. We have Big Fat Sea Cows versus Macasaria, which is so exciting. Both teams with pretty well-known players, which is so exciting to get into here.
I'm just really excited because the map pool today is pretty nice. I'm looking forward to... I mean, I think that we're starting with a classic, some TC on Hagglefish. And I feel like no matter how many times you see this map mode play, people just always find ways to innovate, ways to run around. The flanks when you don't expect it, just good gameplay all around. Oh, Urchin Zones!
I love Urchin Zones. I like that it forces players to have to experiment and try new things, and with Kimmy playing for the side of Macasaria, the bamboo there could be really interesting.
Oh, and then Clam Blitz Umami. I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I had the chance to play Junior on this map. Every time I do, though, big bubbler right in front of the clam basket there, that's the good stuff.
It definitely is.
Do you think we'll see any big bubble play today? I hope so.
There's always a chance, especially these days. I expect that there are some things we'll almost surely see. A pencil's pretty likely. If we don't, I expect to see heavy splatling, just since that's really been on the up and up lately, which I find very exciting. I know people are annoyed that it's paint spam, but hey, I'm just happy a splatling gets to be good again.
Gets to have a little bit of time in the limelight. Maybe Nautilus next?
It's always possible. I think Nautilus had enough time in Splatoon 2, though. It had its time in the sun.
Do you ever think about how old Splatoon 2 is getting? Did you know that Splatoon 2 is turning 9 this year?
Horrifying, quite frankly. And we are going to be getting into it here. Once again, this is Tower Control on Hagglefish Market. Very excited to get into this, and we are seeing that bamboo coming out from Kimmy, not a major surprise, and we're seeing that custom blaster coming out, something we've been seeing more and more of lately.
Oh, and we have the AoE on both sides here coming out from, we've got Fanta on that Slosher and Big Lux on that blaster here. Hopefully we'll get to see them maybe fight each other at some point, and the cooler is already out here, and we're getting started.
Yeah, very quick cooler coming out from Gugalima on that zap there. The sloshing machine poking around mid. Not a weapon we see as much of these days, but always interesting to see it come out, and definitely one of the better stages for it. Trying to fight Fanta here, not quite able to find the pick in time, but Neptune playing cleanup beautifully as we are really into this match now, and Neptune gets traded out.
honestly, Neptune being down there, keeping 2 players out of the field for a little while was pretty useful as we're down to just a 1v2 here. I don't think that Mac is going to get very much time here. Oh, and it's over.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it. I will say those trip strikes being at the ready definitely is a threatening thing for Big Sea Cow's push here, especially as their pencil player has gone down, which means they don't have a cooler for this push. Definitely a big inhibiting factor.
And a majority of their range is within their snipe rider here. Not saying that the sloshing machine can't really reach, but that speed factor really can be kind of a detriment.
It definitely can. Kimmy getting picked off there by Big Mini as we're looking to start moving forward. Cooler coming out from both sides, so this should be an intense fight in mid with a flank coming out from this dually. Able to find the pencil, able to help find the tower. Just Neptune left up and the dually's grabbing the tower, which I love to see.
Oh, absolutely here. And this is the push that Mac has been really wanting here. The crab tank out on the tower. I think at this point it's better to just wait. We've got the Zuka coming out here hopefully soon. Maybe just waiting for the perfect opportunity here. Oh, and there it is. Neptune backing up a little bit, surviving with that Zuka for the last shot.
And that last shot finding a target, not allowing them to clear through this checkpoint, which is absolutely huge for Big Fat Sea Cows to get to hold. It keeps the game really even. As long as you're at pretty even checkpoints, it's very easy to make any kind of turnaround. The splashdown coming out in mid to help repaint and recap, but not able to survive it as we're just truly still skirmishing. And this is pretty far into the game for that to be the case.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes in and nobody's gotten past either of these checkpoints here. The strikes have already been burned out here. The Booyah Bomb is ready. Now, when does Toto use this Booyah Bomb is the question. You only get a few with sloshing machines, so you gotta use them well. Oh, and 2 players chasing Toto down here, back both in this corner. Oh, unfortunate. A really good opportunity there, but Fanta did a great job of holding that space.
They definitely did, and it was able to be enough to really keep Macasaria from being able to set up here. But now we've got Kimmy on the tower, the killer whale coming out. They need to get somebody set up to watch under that right side. Hopefully Fanta rotates there. That's really where the slosher wants to be. But of course, Trip Strikes can do it just as well. And Kimmy has a great sight line there with that bamboo. First checkpoint falls, giving a very distinct lead to Macasaria for now. 2 minutes left on the clock. Still a lot can happen, especially with that Booyah Bomb online like you were talking about.
Kimmy tried so hard to hold that tower through those Zukas and everything else flying that way. But I think this might be Big Fat Sea Cow's big break here. Most of the team back in the base. I think we just have, literally Toto was one there.
Yeah, quite literally one. It's wild to get to see these health bars these days. Definitely changes watching the game quite a bit. Players going down on the tower. Fanta trying to find Neptune. Will they be able to? No, not quite. Neptune cleans it up as we're seeing the tower getting swarmed. But the dually drops. It seems like they're having a hard time, but the 2 AoEs I really thought would get them, but not quite. Yumura going to be able to stay alive there, protecting that left side, not allowing a flank from Big Fat Sea Cows, which makes a huge difference in situations like this.
Oh wait, but 2 players going down from Macasaria here. This could be the chance that Big Fat Sea Cows is looking for here. Only one special live with that whale coming out early here just to try and stop this fight. The Booyah Bomb gone too, though. The bucket fight on the left, who's winning? It's a trade.
It's a trade. Pretty standard to expect from a bucket fight. Good crab tank coming out there from Macasaria to prevent any further pushes. That checkpoint still holding strong with not too much longer to go. I imagine that Slosher is going to focus on trying to get that trip strike, but not going to be able to. Getting picked off as Lux is looking to push in through this left side, probably hoping to find Kimmy to get rid of quite a bit of pressure. But looks like that's not going to be possible with Kimmy calling them out with that killer whale.
Yeah, unfortunately, 3 players going down on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows here. Their next push is probably going to be their last, if they can get to the tower again in time. The splash... Wow, Kimmy!
Kimmy is well known for playing that bamboozler and does an excellent job on it every time. As we are looking to clear up these last few seconds, no trip strikes at the ready, but there is a crab tank, and as I spoke, the trip strikes have come out. Macasaria taking game 1 with only 1 checkpoint cleared. Not something we see very often on Haggle.
I mean, hey, we were talking about how every Hagglefish game can feel different from the last, and this surely was one. Both teams putting on a great defense. Just that Macasaria was able to get a little further along the way than Big Fat Sea Cows.
Which is exciting to see. It seems like these should be good, tight, back-and-forth games as we're going to be looking forward towards Urchin Zones here soon. But really important fights happened throughout this game. Always exciting to see. And Truly, Kimmy kept it so locked down on that bamboozler, not allowing big fat sea cows to find any space to move.
Absolutely, and great work here by Yumura, just trying to make sure Big Fat Sea Cows loses their opportunity to push when they felt like this would have been a good time for them. This is what led to the first good push on Makassari over here.
And every little bit does make a difference. Fanta did an excellent job on this slosher of finding fights to pick and not overextending. And their trip strikes were used at really great times. And I love that they had them ready at the end because having that GG special makes all the difference in tower control.
You saw, even though it didn't lead to a win for Big Fat Sea Cows, that Booyah Bomb did go off at the exact same time as those trip strikes. You already knew that they were kind of hoping, hey, what if we put something there too? Maybe it would prevent the enemy team from getting out, but no, Kimmy got on faster.
Yeah, which is exciting to see. Makassari having a nice game one. Probably going to be looking to find this 3-0 as we are in a best of 5 double elim of groups, which is very exciting. Not a format we see every day.
And luckily, every team that's playing today does get to move on. There's a bracket for everybody.
There definitely is, which I love to see. It means every team gets to gain experience and get good practice in, whether it be on day 1 or day 2. But we're going to be getting into splat zones on Urchin Underpass next. Anything that you'd want to say about that particular stage, Vic?
Asking very kindly, someone please play a sprinkler weapon. Just throw it up top, just for me, as a treat. I want to be able to cheer. Just please, just one little treat for me.
I mean, maybe they'll do it. It's definitely a solid sprinkler map. It's always an option. And like we were saying, that heavy splatling has been seeing more play lately. It does have a sprinkler. And it's a map where we're less likely to see the Snipe Rider. So I could see the pencil on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows switching to something else. And they do switch to something else. It's just a Dynamo instead.
Is that the sprinkler one is the question?
I believe so. It is.
And it's both of them have it. That's wonderful. You know, do you ever feel like now with 3 Splatoon games out, you start to forget some of the kits for the weapons?
I do flashcards about them pretty often, so not very often these
days. Wait, you're actually so smart.
And I like to see the Sploosh kit pick coming out from Googlema. It's definitely a map where Sploosh can be pretty functional. It really rewards high mobility, as well as that Dynamo Roller being able to almost cap the zone in like a single flick by itself.
Absolutely, and the power of that cooler can't be underestimated, especially on the Dynamo Roller now with how strong it can be.
Yes, and it's just Fanta left up for Makassari. Gets picked off. Delayed wipeout there. Big Fat Sea Cow is going to be able to move up quite aggressively here. That and Parry Dooley going to be able to help find a pick on that Ultra Stamp, really setting Big Fat Sea Cows up for a big hold here.
Absolutely, Makassari needs to slow down a little bit and just get their whole team in position, and then start picking off members of Big Fat Sea Cows one by one. They still have time.
They do. Not much of it left, though. I imagine they're going to try and push through left before too long, but the sloshing machine on Big Fat Sea Cows keeping a close eye on it, forcing that Dooley to have to jump out, not going to be able to in time. Ultra Stamp coming out, chasing them into the zone, able to find the pick. The trip strike's coming out. This should be zone flip. There it is. But getting a push below 10 is going to be very hard for Makassari.
Yeah, especially in one fell swoop like that. They need to do the same thing that Big Fat Sea Cows just did to them. They do have great control of this zone right now here. See how fast Makassari made sure to paint not only the zone, but also the avenues that lead up and around it. Splat Zones is more than just controlling the zone. It's about controlling everything that you see.
It is. It definitely is. And being able to utilize that space that you've cleared makes such a difference, and that's what we saw Big Fat Sea Cows do so well on their push. But now Makassari doing an excellent job of keeping this zone held. Fanta moving forward, has those trip strikes ready, not going to be quite able to use them. Neptune rushing forward, trying to find Kimmy, able to. The Dooley going into play cleanup, but the zone already flipped, penalty points applied. Not what you want to see if you're Makassari.
No, not at all. But you know, it still could be anybody's game here.
It definitely could be, but Big Fat Sea Cows is wanting to make it theirs. The N parry drops into the zones, finds one, not able to find another trade. That's a huge trade that kept Big Fat Sea Cows from being able to move forward. But Toto essentially playing an anchor role pretty often on this sloshing machine, which is interesting to see.
And they have the Booyah Bomb at the ready here just to burn some more time. With a couple of players down on Makassari, the Booyah Bomb is forcing them to go exactly where the rest of Big Fat Sea Cows is waiting to get some picks.
Yes.
Ooh, great play by Fanta there.
Really great play. Love to see it. Macasaria able to grab the zone. The Dynamos trading each other out in classic fashion as Neptune's using that 52 gal to truly just duck and weave and try and find these staples to hold and are able to, pushing that end parry back, not able to find another, but it's enough to keep Big Fat Sea Cows in control of that zone.
They just need to burn some time. Only a minute and a half left in this round here. The splashdown, perfect, just for keeping people away. You never know when somebody may be hiding on one of those walls there. I know that it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, those walls are definitely a great hiding spot. Gugolima able to go forward, able to find Neptune, looking to find Lux, going to be able to find that trade. Huge trade coming out there from Gugolima. Great double. Kimmy looking to move forward to really try and keep Big Fat Sea Cows from getting back into the zone, but the Killer Whale going to heavily interfere with that.
Ooh, do they see Neptune? I don't think they do.
I think Gugolima did. It seems like they're having to duck and dodge around, though, as that's a hard fight for a Sploosh to win.
Now we're seeing Gugolima here just trying to find an opportunity. Maybe gonna try and go for something here. Trying to avoid the... Watch out for the... Oh, was that a rollover? That might have been a rollover.
It was a rollover. It's going to happen, especially on maps like this where the Dynamo can drop down so easily. Big Fat Sea Cows looking so dominant in this game, getting close to being through their penalty points. Through them now, 7 ticks left on the timer, and this should be Big Fat Sea Cows' game to win.
What a fantastic trade right there at the end, really establishing Big Fat Sea Cows' lead. Changing the momentum of this set.
Yeah, distinctly changing it, keeping it more even, and really showing that they had a great strategy for this stage and mode, playing it very well, and never really giving Macasaria the chance to set up, which makes all the difference in situations like this.
Absolutely. Here's Gugolima here, rushing forward, just looking for that opportunity that they want. Like we said earlier, map control is so important. And even if Macasaria didn't win this match, they showed how they knew their map control.
They did, which is important. Being able to keep that turf up, keep the ground inked makes all the difference here. Gugolima also did an excellent job of ducking and weaving around to find those opportune moments, although getting dropped on by a Dynamo is always an unfortunate feeling.
Especially when you have a plan.
Yes. And to be fair, who's ready for a Dynamo to fall from the sky these days?
Most of us like to say that we are. You know, it's been about a month. Maybe
it's only been a month. That's no time.
But you never know, right? Everyone says, oh yeah, no, that Dynamo roller, I expect it now. And then you still don't expect that Dynamo roller.
Yeah, it's something that we definitely didn't used to see much at all. And we have actually been sent a few stats here, not something we get every day. So I'm very excited to get to see that. And that Dynamo on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows did an excellent job of getting those coolers out, getting 10 assists, 11 picks of their own. Pretty solid numbers to be putting out there. And Neptune going 19-8, only, well, 20-8 with 1 assist, which is wild numbers to see put out in a knockout game.
Yeah, how long was that match? Maybe 4 minutes at most?
Yeah. Always
Shout out to
exciting
Gugolima also with the 6 hammers. We love to see that.
Yeah, Ultra Stamp definitely is a very effective tool when used in the right way. And I'm really interested in seeing what comp changes come out here for Clan Blitz Umami. It's always an exciting one. We can see some big change-ups. I do expect to see that Snipe Rider 5H come back online here, though.
Very different map right after like the 2 we've seen, right? We had the more open Hagglefish, we had the very closed Urchin Underpass, and Umami, I would argue, is somewhere in the middle.
Absolutely. I will say that when you're trying to push, you do get very choked in that little alleyway. I guess you could just call it a choke. But the 52 gal from Neptune doing an excellent job trying to find a setup in mid to really get us started in this Clan Blitz game.
Yep. Unfortunate, both of the Dynamo Rollers gone now. So sad. They got their time in the limelight over on Urchin Underpass. Oh, and a great pick coming out here on the sloshing machine. You love to see it.
Yes. We're seeing equal trades coming out on each side, which is always exciting to see. I imagine this is going to be pretty back and forth, but Neptune tries to have something to say about it. Gugolima is also back on that zap to do cooler again this game. And it's Clan Blitz. About the first minute is usually both teams just trying to find enough space to establish in mid to really work on moving up under that basket. And it seems like Big Fat Sea Cows might find their opportunity here.
Yeah, they're kind of forced ahead almost by those strikes. They almost helped in getting this push started, I think. Ooh, Fanta with a great pick there, just trying to slow down this push a little bit. I mean, Fanta has all this room to work with here behind this box, and I don't think they can really fire at Fanta very much.
No, they couldn't, which is really great. I typically want to see a push of below 60 when we're starting off in a Clam Blitz game, so 68, not what you want to see if you're big fat sea cows. Not a very safe push. It's 2 power clams and you lose your lead, which is pretty easy to do, especially when the other team gets a pity. But it doesn't matter if you're just finding all the picks you need.
Yeah, if you end up going down 2-2, at least there's no more clams really on the field for the moment. They gotta be grabbed again.
Exactly, and managing that clam economy is so vital to this mode. It's something that is easily overlooked, but both of these teams are doing an excellent job of making sure they're never too far away from a power clam. And we're really looking to see some forward momentum here, and it looks like we might, as 2 players have gone down on the side of Macasaria.
Ooh. You know, I feel like Macasaria, they've been doing a really good job of, like, holding the middle of the map when they have it, but we just haven't seen them have a push opportunity yet.
Yeah, they seem to be having a hard time breaking through what Big Fat Sea Cows is putting up. Admittedly, there's 2 different AoE weapons, a gal that could be anywhere on the stage, and a Snipe Rider keeping a close eye on you. And that splashdown does a lot in terms of keeping map control really heavily in Big Fat Sea Cow's favor.
Absolutely, and 2 players going down again on the side of Macasaria here. A 3rd player also marked by that power clam makes it very difficult for them to be able to go anywhere right now.
It does, and taking out that 52 gal, that is absolutely huge. It should allow Macasaria to find the space to work with 2 players down, Killer Whale out. This should be their pushing opportunity.
Ooh.
Not quite getting through, though,
no.
as the Snipe Rider has something to say about it. 2 players down yet again, just the Slosher and Enzap, neither of them near the basket. And a single power clam push is truly never what you want to do.
The hero play in this time is really not worth it. Now, let's say they were at like 70, then that'd be a different story. But right now, it's better that they back up, wait for some teammates, and then go for another one.
It definitely is. And
Ooh.
it's good that they didn't keep pushing that. But Fanta doing an excellent job here of trying to keep mid held down. The Booyah Bomb coming out, catching Ugalima, not quite able to find the pick as a Suction Bomb finds the double. Cooler going to be at the ready, just Neptune left up, and the Trip Strike's pushing them back, but that Splash Wall able to help do quite a bit, having to dash and dodge around the Killer Whale, but they're going to be able to keep Fanta at bay for just long enough. The basket does break open, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get another clam in, leaving Big Fat Sea Cows hanging on to this lead by the skin of their teeth.
That was so unfortunate. That push had everything. That amazing random double from that bomb. The open basket opportunity. But sometimes you just can't get enough in anyway. That's okay. You got time.
There is, but we're slowly running out of it. Only a minute left to go, as Fanta's going to be looking to move forward here and not going to be able to, getting found by what I'm guessing was a Fizzy Bomb there. A Booyah Bomb at the ready, so this sloshing machine is quite content to play pretty safe and really just focus on holding space with their Snipe Rider.
Oh, Big Fat Sea Cows losing a couple of players here at a really important time. Macasaria has way more clam economy right now. If they can get forward here, maybe with those triple ink strikes from the bucket, I think they might take this lead.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes that 1 power clam for them to get lead. It's not a safe position to be in if you're Big Fat Sea Cows at all. But the Booyah Bomb coming out to try and interrupt the triple strikes, going to be able to keep them from moving forward, which is absolutely huge. Neptune grabbing this power clam, not a weapon we expect to see with it, but they found a 3-down situation. I imagine they're going to go for a big push here just to try and get some extra points on the board. But they
really just want to get under 60. That's all they really need here.
Yeah, I also imagine they might want to wait until that last like 5 seconds to make sure there just isn't an overtime, because guaranteeing no overtime is so useful in these situations. And right now they're keeping Macasaria from building a power, so there's no overtime.
Oh, easy fix. What a close game of clams.
Always exciting to see. Really great defense coming out from both sides. Especially, I really want to highlight both the Snipe Rider and that Bamboozler for being able to lock things down so effectively and prevent forward momentum from either side.
Absolutely. I want to shout out that Booyah Bomb that we saw near the end. You know, maybe we'll get to see it in a little bit. I'll hold my thoughts.
Yeah, but really great special usage out of both sides here. And that Suction Bomb putting in great work for Gugalima, almost giving them the opportunity they needed to take the lead, but still just not quite finding it.
Now, here's an example of Big Fat Sea Cows here just holding this fort down. Having control of mid is just so important, and Minnie in this perfect position here.
And doing an excellent job of just keeping the clan economy in their favor at the end. Having those clams makes all the difference. And we're going to be going back to zones here for game 4, which could be set. We are at set point here for Big Fat Sea Cows. This could be the last game of this set. And we're going to be going to Splat Zones Mahi.
Ooh, I mean, we've had zones happen once before, and Big Fat Sea Cows did take that game. But it was a very different map, right? If I'm Matt Casaria, I don't want to go down here 3-1. I want to bring it back to a 2-2. I want to get the momentum back on my side. We won game 1. We can win game 4, guys.
Absolutely. And going down into losers bracket this early on never feels good. Sure, you're guaranteed a day 2 tomorrow, but that doesn't make it easier to get knocked down this early and then try to make a losers run. That's a stressful situation to be in. It's not where you want to be. And so obviously they want to get this to 2-2. They want to go into this game 5 Rainmaker. But first, they have to get through Mahi Mahi zones. What adaptations do you think they could make, Vic?
I'm thinking they bring back the Dynamo Rollers. Flat out. Flat out. They're coming back.
It's definitely very possible
here. So strong here.
It is. This is such a contained map. You're in such tight spaces when you're having those fights. It gets cooler quick enough. It paints well enough, quite frankly, to get away with so much. And I'm very interested in seeing if they do that. I would also still like to see the Bamboozler come out here. I think the Chump Bamboozler would do very well here.
I mean, I feel like if we don't see the Dynamo on one of these teams, it might be in favor of a Pen again. The Pen does still do so well on Splat Zones Mahi. When you let out that entire set of 5 shots, the zone is basically yours.
That is true, and Kimmy is actually going over to that Snipe Rider for this, and we are seeing a Bamboozler, not a Bamboozler, sorry, an Aerospray MG coming out. Not something we see all the time, and running Ninja Squid at that. So I'm very interested in seeing how Google Lima plays that. Neptune sticking with that 52 gal, not a surprise to see, but still very fun.
I mean, the paint output from the Aerospray is not something that you can laugh about. And, you know, Reef Slider might not be as big of a painter as it once was, but on a small, crowded zone like this, you can get so many doubles on accident just by firing off the Reef Slider.
Absolutely, and we're seeing it coming out here, looking to find a pick, but not able to, getting cleaned up beautifully by Big Fat Sea Cows. The Booyah Bomb coming out, putting pressure onto that right side, not allowing them to get set up. Fanta chipped, but not enough to be taken out, but it's keeping their space so effectively. But no, they're still going to hold the zone. The Snipe Rider finding an amazing pick, Neptune being able to jump in. This is an incredible opening from Big Fat Sea Cows.
Absolutely. Matt Casaria, saving a little bit of time, though, at least, so they have some time to get back into the zone. If I'm Toto, I want to get under this ledge, and I want to just start sloshing away. Yup. Kimmy being forced to back up there from that.
Yes, which excellent to see if you're rooting for Big Fat Sea Cows. It gives you a ton to work with. And the Blaster looking to find a pick, not able to. The Reef Slider coming out, finding the sloshing machine. That's the zone flip, as it's just that pencil left up. Minnie having to try and stay up, able to find that trade, giving Neptune the chance to come in, trying to find Google Lima and the slosher, not going to be able to, forced to jump out. And now all 4 of us are on top of each other, which is not what you want to do generally.
Matt Casaria did a great job, by the way, of cleaning up immediately after Big Fat Sea Cows went down here. Their paint control is fantastic.
Yeah, to be fair, I would really hope it is with the weapons they are running. The only thing that wouldn't be considered high paint probably is that slosher, and it's still very self-sufficient in its paint. And now if you're Big Fat Sea Cows, you're looking to find a way to break in because you're about to lose your lead.
It's going to be really close here. The 35-36. Do we see the lead swap here? Neptune with a fantastic pick, but the arrow... Oh, I think that wall might have saved their life.
I believe so. Splash Wall allows 52 gal to play so aggressively. Thank God it doesn't have Booyah Bomb again this game, or it would be truly a menace.
Sheldon's Space Wave 2 win?
No. We can't go back to 50. We can't go back to Booyah 52 gal. I can't live that life again. But Big Fat Sea Cow's doing a great job here of really creating space. You were using this DS absolutely fantastically, able to find that trade, but it's not going to be enough to get their team fully back in, though these trip strikes and that Reef Slider will be.
I don't think that Reef Slider intended on getting stuck in that corner. Very sad.
But it did end up working out. The zone did flip. Although it's looking like Big Fat Sea Cows is pretty close to grabbing it back when they find a 2-down situation. The Aerospray gets traded out. Neptune has been doing such an excellent job of playing this entry role on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows.
Absolutely,
really
their aggression's been fantastic.
It has. It's great to see, and I really like the synergy that we've been seeing from them.
All right, now we're down to the last couple of minutes here. Macasaria needs to get that lead, or this set is over.
Yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of time. There's still a lot that can happen. But that splashdown definitely isn't helping Macasaria out. The Reef Slider comes out, doesn't find a pick. Looks like they were going for the Snipe Rider with it. But we're once again seeing Big Fat Sea Cows very bunched up. Although this time they're finding the picks through that. And that should be the zone.
Here, kind of trapped in this corner. Kimmy might need to jump out here, surviving by the skin of their teeth there. Fantastic.
Yeah, very great to see. Love to see it. And just once again, I want to highlight how well Big Fat Sea Cow's weapons are playing off of each other. They're doing such an excellent job setting up their engagements, working as a unit, and backing off when they need to.
A great pick on Neptune here is going to give Macasaria the chance they need to get into the zone here. You're going to see the Reef Slider out here, using it to survive the Booyah Bomb and force Big Fat Sea Cows back. They are bunched up again, like you mentioned beforehand. They need to take advantage of that, or... Ooh.
Yeah, great zone flip there coming out of Macasaria. Neptune grabbing 2 picks. Will they find the third? Yes. Will they find the fourth onto that slosher? It looks like they're going to go for it. The Killer Whale coming out, allowing that pick to happen. 30 seconds to go. It's still doable for Macasaria, but Neptune just tried to put the nail in the coffin.
What a momentum change from Neptune alone there. Given an opportunity, Neptune flew straight through it to get an amazing triple.
Which is it's what the 52 gal is meant to do. It's meant to disrupt. It's meant to make everything more complicated. Love to see this Booyah Bomb being held, really focusing on neutralizing the zone.
That's all they need here. Although they do need to take this zone back. Total getting a little bit trapped here by Gugulima. This Aerospray going to try and get up there. Only about halfway to Reef Slider. But they don't need it just yet. They need it for this zone, though, so I'm sure they want it.
They do. The Dually Squelcher does go down. We're seeing the splashdown online here for Big Fat Sea Cows, and they don't have a lot of time left. The Reef Slider coming out, able to trade, but the Booyah Bomb does reach the zone, but it's not going to be enough. That's Macasaria taking this game, putting us into a game 5 for our first set of the day.
Wow, I think I missed what caused Big Fat Sea Cows to lose their hold on the zone after Neptune's amazing play there, but that was a great comeback from Macasaria.
It was. They did an excellent job of keeping calm, playing smart, and they just kept continuously staggering Big Fat Sea Cows there, really not allowing them to get the hold they needed, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, look at this here. Gugulima doing a great job at keeping players away from this zone over and over again with that Reef Slider. Oh, there's that moment where that Reef Slider was unable to actually do what it wanted to thanks to that wall.
Yeah, and just really great gameplay out of both teams here. The zone getting held for so long by both sides. And Neptune had really great plays. Here's that great one where we just saw them get essentially a quad, essentially a wipe. But after this, they just couldn't quite find what they needed to keep in control. I think the Dually Squelcher really was able to disrupt for a bit there. And there was a well-timed Reef Slider right around here out of memory that just kept any momentum from being able to happen.
So unfortunate, because that's what you have to do. When you know the enemy team needs to get into the zone ASAP, you're going to bring that Reef Slider exactly where you expect them to go. And 5 times out of 10, it's going to work out. Worthwhile coin flip.
It definitely is. And we're going to be getting into Rainmaker Undertow Spillway here next. A classic. I am really interested in seeing what Macasaria brings out here. They've been playing around with their comps so much, and I just want to know what Gugulima is going to play, because I think it might be that sploosh with an Ultra Stamp again. There's a chance.
I can't imagine it's anything but the sploosh with the Ultra Stamp. You're going to have, on the side of Macasaria, that aggression from that sploosh with the Ultra Stamp. And on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows, I'm assuming we'll see Neptune again on that 52 gal. 52 works so well with the corridors that are on Undertow Spillway.
Yeah, I would be very surprised to see a big change come out there. And really great gameplay out of both teams going on there. I'd also like to point out 8 coolers coming out for Mini on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows there, which is quite impressive to see.
Actually, I want to take a look. We got anything else? Anything else wild in here? I want to know Neptune's KA on that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are into this game 5 here, getting into Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. So exciting to see. We're seeing a wiper coming out, not something we've seen yet this set, and we are seeing a return to that sploosh. And a pivot from one of their other players over to NZAP to keep that cooler going and allow Kimmy to stay comfy on that Bamboozler. As we are staying in this here.
Oh boy, now we don't really want to be grabbing that Rainmaker too early here. I'm gonna, I'm gonna miss seeing the double Snipe Raider. Last game, that was really fun.
It definitely can be very exciting. And I do like seeing this sploosh come out. It's not, once again, not something we see every day. And the hammer coming out will thwart any chance that sploosh has to do anything. As we're going to be opening up, pushing through this left side. Killer Whale coming out. Checkpoint falling immediately. And surviving from Mini there, which is very exciting if you're Big Fat Sea Cows.
Ooh, living all that. Do you see how little space
but Neptune's still there.
Yep, that'll do it.
But you definitely don't want to get wiped out like that in Rainmaker. Probably worth it to clear that first checkpoint, knowing that your Snipe Rider will be up in time to guard that right one. But now you have to find a way to turf and hold down left enough to keep them from clearing that same one. And this Booyah Bomb might be enough to do it.
I think taking out one, if not two players there. No, only really one, honestly. Kimmy here having to up, and thank goodness for Neptune, who's right behind the Rainmaker here, taking them out. But it's going to be a 2 to 3 scenario here, and Lux being very careful with this hammer to not accidentally grab the Rain along the way.
Yeah, really excellent job there, and they're checking to make sure that they've actually cleared out that area, which I am glad to see. We've definitely seen some things happen with that in Rainmaker throughout the Splatoon games. And they held on to that checkpoint. And now they're going to be looking to set up another push. They have a Killer Whale coming out to help there.
Big Fat Sea Cows for sure wants to show the... Oh, I was going to say they have great momentum and they want to prove themselves after the last couple of games, but everyone going down at the same time is so unfortunate.
Yeah, Toto having to play pseudo anchor here again, using that Fizzy Bomb to help themselves stay alive and give their teammates time to come back in. The Rainmaker does go down. Gugalima has that Ultra Stamp out though, throws it at the pencil, doesn't quite find the pick. As we're seeing Toto, once again, just doing an excellent job of poking and staying alive.
Toto's machine plays have been quite great this game, honestly. The Booyah Bomb here, just making sure that no one's able to really push where they want to here. You see how it kind of keeps Macasaria from even considering the Rainmaker?
Yeah, which is awesome to see. Love to see that. And now we have Cooler coming out from Big Fat Sea Cows. Ultra Stamp coming out from Macasaria, looking to clear a ton of space. But the other Ultra Stamp comes out from Big Fat Sea Cows. Allowing Kimmy to try and move forward. Not going to be able to. Neptune finds the pick, cleans that right up. And this is a really tight game so far.
Yeah, 62 to 60. They do have to get through that checkpoint if you're Macasaria to be actually able to make that push. But they've got 2 minutes to pull it off.
Yeah, and on this map, I wouldn't say clearing the checkpoint is what usually is what sets the game. It usually takes a little bit more than that here. But this ends up looking to help paint forward. But goes down to this Booyah Bomb. Toto having to back up here, though. Fizzy Bomb going to likely be used to try and cut off a path. Able to find
Already getting one. Yeah, this momentum is really important here. Toto trusting in the rest of Big Fat Sea Cows here, holding off anybody else from being able to push up here. That Rainmaker's got to get out of there now. It's got to go.
And go it does. Big Fat Sea Cows doing an excellent job of clearing it out of their space. I imagine they just want to get it over to that bottom left at this point, but that's easier said than done. Macasaria not allowing them that space.
Yeah, 2 players from Macasaria hiding down there, too. It's just not safe to bring that Rain there. You lives that explosion? I think this is the second time that we've seen the most wild survival from Yamura there.
Yeah, really great. Taking full advantage of the fact that Toolies have great survival in and of themselves and using map geometry to their favor. Fanta has these triple ink strikes at the ready. They just need to get past where that checkpoint is, and there's the lead. Macasaria taking it. Still a minute left to go, but we haven't seen Big Fat Sea Cows have control of this stage since the start of the game.
No, and I feel like Big Fat Sea Cows, while they've been working really hard at this, Macasaria has been back, coming over and over and over again just to try and push this Rainmaker further ahead.
And they've been doing a great job at it. 30 seconds left to go. Macasaria doing an excellent job of painting up this map, keeping it their color, which will give Big Fat Sea Cows next to no space to work with, especially as they get rushed down by another Ultra Stamp from Gugalima.
Ooh, that hammer barely missing Big Toto here. You got the Booyah Bomb on standby here. They just have to wait for an opportunity. They got some time, but that Rainmaker is going to start ticking down with about 40 seconds left to go, I think. They're going to have to push.
They are, and I don't know that they can actually make it far enough in time. They might have to try for a right side push here, which is so hard to do, especially with the Killer Whale and Trip Strikes online. They can't find the space to move forward. One player down. Google Lima's still there, but they need to go forward now. I'm sure that Rainmaker is about to explode on them, and they just can't find the momentum they need. I think that's game. I don't think they have time to move far enough.
And they just have to go. They've got about 15 seconds left on the clock. The strikes are going to have to force them to move forward. Unfortunate.
Yeah, really great gameplay there out of both teams, but Macasaria's grit and determination at just moving that Rainmaker forward allowed them to take that game, take this set, and keep them up in winners for now.
I mean, honestly, that's the kind of Rainmaker set I like to watch. I want to see teams fighting for their life, trying to get these pushes over and over again, and get rewarded with the win.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was never a point where either team had enough of a lead to truly stall until the very end there, where Macasaria went, okay, now we can just paint mid. Now we can play safe. Now we can play for paint. We don't need to be overly aggressive. And they did such an excellent job of knowing when that time came.
Oh, this moment right here. That littlest, tiniest spot that you could have survived that Rainmaker blast.
Yeah, which it makes all the difference. Being able to keep your players up, being able to keep turf laid down makes all the difference. And those Ultra Stamps from Google Lima put out a lot of work, quite frankly.
Oh, absolutely. It's about just keeping players where you need them to be. You don't want to give the enemy team any chance here. And these triple ink strikes were doing a great job at doing that.
They were. Excellent job. Really great special timing, especially out of Macasaria there at the end, which allowed for them to be able to do what they needed to do. And I'm really excited to see what other games we get to have coming up today.
I know, we've got a long tournament ahead of us today. Day 1 is today, day 2 is tomorrow. This is a 2-day event, which means lots of Splatoon 3 action ahead of us this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be staying quite busy. And I'm always so excited about that. I love getting to see so much Splatoon going on. And I'm excited to see what I believe are our next two teams of Beaver and Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do, which
Beautiful
I
team
will
name.
likely just end up calling Solfege.
Wait. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll call them like Do Re Mi, but wait, your idea is literally just better. Is that what their actual team name is, or is their team name on
their team name
website?
on Sendo is Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. But quite frankly, that's not fast enough to say.
What?
And
while you're mid
Solfege is
commentary,
what
you
that
don't want
scale
to
is
say
called.
Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do?
No, and I was enough of a chorus kid to know that that's Solfege. So
Do you remember the hand signs? Were you taught hand signs?
I don't think I was taught hand signs.
No. So
Which
sad.
is okay. It's very fun though. It's definitely a long name, and I would love to know why they landed on it. I'm guessing it was almost a situation of landing on just a letter, and they went, well, we can be a little more fun than that.
Let's pick 16 of them?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And I'm so excited to see what they get up to here. And admittedly, I don't know these teams particularly well, but they both have made it to semis, which is always exciting to see.
Yeah, I mean, we already had such a fantastic back and forth just one set ago, so I'm looking forward to more games here on 20XX.
Yeah, I love getting, especially these majors. Day 1 is always so exciting. Teams just vying for what they can manage to get, trying to make sure they get that top bracket, which is something I love to see. And we do seem like we're going to be getting into it very soon. And we're going to be starting on Clamblitz Museum de Alfonsino.
Yay! One of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one.
I mean, I don't really play a lot of Machine these days, but I was really happy to see a Machine player last game. Now, if I was Toto, I'd be hyped to see Clamblitz on Museum de Alfonsino.
Yeah, but Toto, sadly, not going to be who we're watching this game, as we're in winner bracket semis too. In Group I, there's a lot of different groups today, keeping it fast, keeping it exciting. And this is a map that really loves range. Ranged weapons do so well here. I don't think we're going to see an E-leader because it's Clamblitz, but I would be surprised to not see at least one Snipe Rider here.
Maybe we'll finally see our first heavy splatling of the day? We didn't get to see one beforehand. No,
I would love to.
No?
I would love to, but I think this map favors range enough that if you're going to be playing a Splatling, you're not going to do it necessarily here unless it's truly the only thing you play, because Snipe Rider kind of eats them for breakfast.
Sad.
Yeah, the Snipe Rider, sorry, the Charger Splatling matchup has never been in favor of Splatlings in its history. Just
Now,
the
you know
range
what I would
matchup
love
there.
to see that we haven't seen yet?
What?
I don't know if we'd see it here, but I'd be really down to see an S-Blast here.
It would be interesting to see.
Different blaster.
We do see a different blaster, and we also see a mini Splatling coming out, specifically the Zinc mini Splatling, which I like. That Rapid Blaster Pro Deco is also very exciting. And of course, we are seeing 2 Snipe Riders. No major shocks there. Also 252 Gals, definitely one of the weapons of this patch.
I'm just taking note that Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do, aka, I guess we'll call him Solfedge, right? Is at least a much faster composition. But Beaver is moving in much quicker here.
Yeah, I mean, there's that thing of stability versus speed. If you can find the stability to find the picks you need, you don't necessarily need to be as fast of a comp technically. And the Mini doing an excellent job here of staying alive and laying down so much ink for their teammates.
I'm seeing chat also very excited for this game here, so I think that we have some good stuff ahead of us here.
It seems like it. Both of these teams looking pretty evenly matched so far, but Beaver doing an excellent job of just really holding their ground. The Octobrush attempting to rush down Mady, not quite able to find them with that Kraken, and now stranded in mid, able to get taken out. Beaver's just looking very dominant here in this first minute of the game.
The paint control that Beaver has, even on the enemy spinner, is really something that you want to see. With 2 power clans ready to go, if they can get over to this basket, that's going to bring them down almost into the 30s.
And it does get them down to 37. More clams going in, down to 25 now. Medi going back to get more little clams, as well as the Snipe Rider. More points trickling in. The Mini probably going to choose to back off here. Not going to be able to stay and keep mid-painted, but is going to find the jump out. And a push to 13, I imagine you feel pretty good about in the first 2 minutes if you're Beaver.
Yeah, that is a lot of points that Solfedge is going to have to overcome here. Pelly here looking towards getting that Zuka, trying to get somebody gone here with, I mean, we talked about it earlier. As Beaver does have some slightly slower weapons, these Zuka picks could be really big.
They definitely could be. But they also have such a range advantage between that Rapid Blaster, that Mini Splatling, and that Snipe Rider to really be able to keep Solfedge from being able to move forward as Soro gets picked off. Just one player left up. Beaver going to be looking to do quite a quick push here. The Killer Whale going to be able to help out with that immensely, as well as helping poke from such a long distance.
Yeah, Zuka can't do much, unfortunately. When you have the shield there, the game is done.
Yeah, Beaver looking very dominant there, doing an excellent job of taking that first game. Finding their early picks, maintaining control, and never getting fully wiped out really set them up for success.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. You know, I felt really bad for Soro at one point in this match, like maybe about a minute or 2 ago, where they really wanted to hold down mid, but you had the Snipe Rider and the Blaster both firing at the same time. It's very hard to hold a position like that.
Yeah, well, and one of the other nice things for Beaver is that Snipe Rider and that Rapid Blaster Pro Deco have numbers that play off of each other so well that it just makes it really hard for Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do to be able to do anything. And this Rapid played their range exceptionally. I don't know if we'll see it stick around as we go into Rainmaker. No, sorry, Splat Zones on Mako Mart. But I'm very intrigued to see if we do. It just is so long range that it fits perfectly on Museum de Alfonsino.
Yeah, and they still were so aggressive with it. When you think about the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, you don't think, oh, it's going to be rushing down like that with its teammates, but that will completely change the way you see a weapon just with one game like that from Beaver.
Yeah, it definitely does, and they did such an excellent job. What kind of adaptations do you think Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do will need to make here on Mako Mart zones?
How about now we see the S-Blast? Oh no, they said, I'm keeping that.
Oh, but we are seeing the stickers stamper coming out here. Very interesting. Not something we see all the time, and I love that bucket pick coming out here from Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. Definitely one of Bucket's best maps. But one of them already down as we have another strong opening coming out from Beaver.
Absolutely here. Now, the strikes up, and as soon as I started to compliment the strikes on Dormi Fasoletido, they lose it immediately. So sad.
And they've already found essentially a wipeout as the 52 gal moves up into their space, knowing that Pencil's there to back them up, able to keep just ducking and weaving and surviving, and the picks just feel endless from Beaver.
Yeah, Pelly trying so hard here to and that's a very good pick, getting rid of that 52 gal, but unfortunately not being able to survive the Snipe Rider finding them there. This bubble is making sure that nobody really... Ooh! Now everybody's gonna have to pay attention to the Sticker Stamper down here, which might give Dormi Fasoletido the chance to push in.
Looks like it might. The whale comes out, though, forcing them away from the zone. Able to find one, looking to find a second. The 52 gal putting in so much work here and just keeping their players bunched up and in spots where they can't reach the zone. That's a great direct coming out from the blaster there. 10 ticks left on the timer. Looks like Beaver has this in the bag, though I could still be proven wrong.
Wait, if luck paints enough of the zone here, they could take here. The strike's coming out, but I don't think they're going to be able to get enough of the zone with them. So close. It's just like a 2v2 on the zone right now. So close for Dormi Fasoletido there, almost capping that zone in multiple ways.
But not quite ever finding enough. Beaver doing an excellent job of just continuously laying paint down and staying up. Sure, they had 2 players go down, but they took the other players down in trades with them, keeping numbers even, and having that mini Splatling that can just lay out so much paint, keep so much turf down, makes a world of difference.
When you're fighting for those last few bits of turf there to get that zone, you're not always watching where your enemy team is moving and keeping up with those fights. And that's something that Beaver could take advantage of. They knew that Solfege had to watch that zone.
They did, and it's important to take advantage of situations like that and really be able to do what you can with it. Excellent to see. Really well played from Beaver. We're seeing them pair up so well. We're seeing them be able to show off individual skills when needed to, like we just saw with that Rapid Blaster Pro Deco. Just excellent gameplay all around.
And Slord's positioning here was so fantastic, especially during that part where so many points were getting lost for Solfege.
Yeah, and just once again, that mini Splatling lays down so much turf that unless you take them out, you're not going to outpaint them.
No. Oh, and we're already here on Rainmaker Humpback. Moving quickly here. I'm curious how we'll see things change right now. Oh, and there's the vac.
The Ink Vac definitely going to be able to put in some hard work here, taking advantage of that other Rapid Blaster Pro kit. Very exciting to see, as we're going to be looking to see how they adapt to Rainmaker.
And we have that Christmas tree stamper, the one with the crab tank. I feel like it's one you don't see too often.
No, I don't think I've seen it since its patch, on a hunch. But I love seeing Toxic Mist come out here. This is one of my favorite stages for it. I think it excels, and Crab Tank can put in some good work on Humpback Pump Track, as we're seeing Beaver not find the early dominance that they have in other games.
I mean, it is Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track. You just need a couple of really strong pushes, and running in too quickly is how you end up getting taken out too early on Rainmaker.
It definitely is. An excellent pick coming out there from the Snipe Raider on Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do, as Beaver is keeping this pretty well painted, but not being able to find a way to move in and actually stop this checkpoint from falling, it seems. Sure, they had a miss to help slow it down. Oh, never mind. The Ultra Stamp takes care of it. And now Medi going to go pop that Rainmaker. No, going to go help paint in mid, finding that Stamper, looking to force Pelly out, going to be able to, but I can't tell if they've popped that Rainmaker yet or not. They have not. There it goes.
I was going to say, the Rainmaker kind of acts as its own player 5 if you're letting it teleport back to mid by itself, but they ended up grabbing it, so...
Yeah, I always definitely appreciate the Rainmaker actively getting grabbed. I think it is a safer way to play generally, and I love how much turf Medi has been lying down with these mini throughout these games, and now this Ultra Stamp came out, going to be able to allow this checkpoint to fall, putting Beaver right where they want to be, with 2 players up on the side of Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do.
There's that momentum that we've been seeing Beaver have across a lot of these matches here.
Yeah, and just excellent job of pairing up, playing off of each other, Medi finding a pick with that mini Splatling, the Slosher going down, the Stamper jumped in, the Crab Tank having to come out, but likely going to get picked off here, if not shredded, which is just rough for that Stamper. It's rough to spend your whole Crab Tank in ball form, and now getting chased down by the 52 gal. And we have a back ready. This could be a big push.
for what it's worth, keeping the 52 out of play for a moment might not hurt too much. Like, they have to be watching us. Slord here hoping to get this pick. 52 v 52.
And not able to find it, putting Beaver in this position to push. Now forcing the Slosher to try and dip and dodge around. Going to be able to, but kept them from looking at the Rainmaker.
All right, now here comes the strikes possibly here to keep this Rainmaker from pushing ahead. I think they're going to have to use their strikes here if they want to prevent a lot of points from coming in the way of Beaver.
And there they go, keeping Medi locked in place for just a bit longer. The Snipe Rider trying to lay down some turf, but the Inkback's going to be at the ready here. They just need to keep an eye out on that Stamper. The Stamper does drop in and find them, but a push to 38 is nothing to seize at. And the Snipe Rider stayed alive, going to be able to continue acting as that anchor. No, getting picked off.
Yeah, and the Snipe Rider on the side, Soulfetch here taking that Rainmaker. Did they get their cooler?
It doesn't look like it, but Luck rapidly pushing up, finding that Rapid Blaster. It looks like Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do is so comfy in Rainmaker, able to find the lead, getting taken out by the hammer. It's still very doable for Beaver, but this is the first time we've seen Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do be able to get a push off.
Yeah, and they made great work with it too. Knowing that Beaver was out of the way, the Rainmaker player didn't even hesitate.
Yeah, which is exactly what you want to see. You want to see your Rainmaker player hold forward with no hesitation, trusting in your teammates to get the job done. The Ultra Stamp has come out here from Medi. Heli forced to jump out. Rainmaker gets popped. They have another Ink back at the ready. Toxic Mist coming out from this Stamper, doing quite a bit of work. But is it going to be enough?
So
potentially.
Wow! Yeah, and you gotta remember that at least a couple of members, I think, on Beaver might still have that aura going. Does the Mini still have it? I swear I saw it before.
They definitely did at some point. It doesn't look like they still do. Looking to find the Slosher. Rainmaker able to.
Oh no, they still do.
Oh, fantastic. Medi able to keep laying down so much turf. Just the Snipe Rider and 52 Gal. But you should never say just about those things because they can shut down quite a bit. Ultra Stamp coming out, popping the Rainmaker, holding forward, trying to get the points, not able to find them. Once again, Toxic Mist is just so strong here. It truly shuts down pushes, and I love to see it.
Yeah, you know, people always forget about Toxic Mist because, you know, not a lot of weapons that are really big in this game have it. But when it affects you, you're like, oh yeah, oh darn.
Oh, we can't really move right now. Weird. But it's looking great here for Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. They just need to play it smart, play it cautious. I like that they're not trying to rush anything. There's a back ready, but it gets picked off. The Rainmaker's in their spawn, and that's a 2-1 situation.
I really liked that evil little spam of strikes there at the end on the Rainmaker. Just a little, you don't get to have that. That's ours.
Yeah, denying space with specials like that makes all the difference. And knowing that you've gotten the push you needed and not continuing to overextend after that really, really matters.
Yeah, if you know you're only gonna get like 3 more points on the board, isn't it better just to stay alive if it's the last minute of the game?
It definitely is, especially in those kinds of situations where you have a strong enough push and you know that you have enough ink laid down that they're not going to be able to rush you down and take you out in your own spawn.
Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do just had such great control with their strikes this game, stopping and slowing down Beaver so they could get this victory.
Which is so exciting to see. And I love how quickly they were taking advantage of the opportunities they got. They were not letting Beaver take any extra space. It's almost like they came online. Maybe their coffee kicked in for the day. There's always a chance.
And Medi's hammers have been putting in work in this game, and I feel like the other ones too. It's just been so funny to watch them land great shots with that.
It has, but just not able to find the space they needed thanks to that Toxic Mist, thanks to that great turf output that Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do did in their own space. And so we're going to be going into game 4 here on Zones Umami, the only dual zones map we ever see these days. And I'm very interested in seeing if adaptations are made from either side.
I mean, we did see Beaver swap off of their Rapid Blaster Pro deco specifically for this set. Do you think maybe they'll go back to the such a tongue twister, Rapid Blaster Pro deco?
I believe they likely will. I am sure that Vacuum was a choice for that specific stage.
Oh, absolutely.
And mode. But we're just not going to see it at all. We're going to see the small blaster, which is silly strong these days. Sticking with that splashdown kit, Big Bubbler coming out from the Zimmy, and we're seeing that Crab Tank Stamper stick around, that Stamper Nouveau, which is very exciting because this is one of Crab Tank's best maps.
Oh, absolutely. And you just won with the weapon. Why are you gonna, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
Absolutely. And as we are looking to move forward here, Beaver doing an excellent job of capping these zones early, keeping them at least in neutral. And the Big Bubbler coming out, so we should be seeing all of their players online and moving forward as Luck looks for a lucky break.
Just waiting for an opportunity. No need to push in too early, especially if your teammates aren't with you here. And this is what we're talking about. Two players moving in together to try and get this zone together. Luck with the fantastic pick here. And now just with a ton of control up in mid. Even if they went down, they got two players before that happened.
Yeah, they really did. And Soro finding an excellent cleanup on that 52 gal. During the Fasola Tido, very well set, but although finding one, but not able to find enough to let Beaver take back momentum. And now we're seeing Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do really controlling the ink and the space they need. And I'm intrigued to see it how Beaver tries to break back in here.
I mean, they've got some time, thankfully. Slord using this wall. Never mind. I was about to be like, oh, wow, look at the great wall play here. But then taken out, I think, by a bomb?
It looks like it, but we're still seeing Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do having so much space control. And now they're going to have a crab tank, which Beaver really doesn't have an answer to. Alvo looking to push in, but not going to be able to. Shut down by the Toxic Mist. They still have that splashdown ready, but this crab tank has eaten so much time off the clock. But one pick found on the 52 gal. The splashdown comes out. 2 down on the side of Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. Looking to cap the other zone, but needs to deal with this slosher first. And that's the zone going to flip. But a push to 4 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, absolutely. And Pelly did a great job at buying Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do some time to come back from spawn, though. Just making Beaver just spend a little bit of time over there instead of going for that zone. Although now they're very locked into the zone. Both teams having similar ranges, I would say. Beaver a little lower range. Slor with a great pick there. Needs a couple more of those, and they can go in. Oh, and getting Luck. Ooh.
Really huge picks there. Taking out the other 52 gal really limits the offensive options for Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. And Slor doing an excellent job of dancing around, not letting themselves get picked off. There are triple ink strikes ready, but they're having to use to break out of spawn, which is not where you want to need to use them. The crab tank's also out. That's a lot of specials wasted.
Yeah, and they still don't have this zone, and with only 10-ish more ticks down, they have to go for this zone right now, and I think that Beaver is aware of that.
Beaver definitely seems to be the Big Bubbler coming out, going to allow this mini to just outpaint and outlast, and that is the set going to Beaver. Looking less dominant that game, but still incredible gameplay coming out from them. Really well coordinated and not panicking, which is fantastic to see.
Honestly, Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do did a fantastic job that set. You know, the first 2 games were very heavily in Beaver's favor, but you wouldn't know the story of this set just from looking at the score. That 3-1 does not tell you all the effort that Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do put into this.
Yeah, which is so exciting. I love seeing how both of these teams played, and Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do I could see making a strong loser's run with how well they contended with Beaver here.
Oh, absolutely. It is double elimination after all, so who knows? Maybe Beaver and Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do will get to fight again sometime in the future.
Which is exciting to see. It's one of the joys of double elim. It's one of the joys of 2-day tournaments. And we have another set coming up before too long, but it's not quite time for it yet. So I think we're going to take a quick little break, and we will be back with you guys so shortly.
Alrighty. See you in a bit. And welcome back to more 20XX. We're here with Winners Finals.
Always so exciting to get into. We have Duck Motif versus No Idea, LOL. Duck Motif, a classic, a standard, a team we see regularly, and No Idea, LOL. For some reason, I have a hunch as a pickup. Just maybe.
No idea though, right?
Yeah, who knows? But it should be exciting. Getting into winners here is very exciting. Once again, we're double elim in groups into everyone plays a different bracket in day 2. So it should be very exciting. And we're going to be starting off on Rainmaker Museum de Alfonsino.
Hooray. I mean, the last time we were on Museum de Alfonsino a little while ago, it was a very aggressive match. And Rainmaker, I feel like, really encourages that kind of gameplay even more.
It does, but it's still a very range-focused map. So I'm interested in seeing what weapons come out on this stage, although I do assume that we will be seeing an Octobrush of some form or another out of Duck Motif, out of Red Shell specifically.
That's the one thing we can predict here.
No, wrong. 96 gal.
I would have... Oh, the C Junior!
Not something we see every day. Definitely going to be able to put out a lot of paint for No Idea, LOL. We're also seeing a Tetra there. Got some minor buffs last patch, a little more functional than it once was. And we're seeing an early skirmish here on this right side, able to get cleaned up quickly, but a trade out of both teams. And Red Shell looking to move forward with this 96 gal. And both teams just going to kind of skirmish for mid here for a bit. Very neutral opening.
I mean, both teams losing one player early on definitely didn't help with like starting the aggressive push here. And one player up top here kind of forcing Red Shell away from the safety of their base and getting taken out by that Wavebreaker. Unfortunate.
Yeah, Wavebreaker putting in some good work there. First checkpoint cleared by No Idea, LOL. As we're seeing so much turf output from them between that Snipe Rider and the Junior. The 52 gal so self-sufficient, and the Tetra, quite frankly, doesn't care if it has paint or not.
Yeah, they're just gonna go anyway. It's what you do with Tetra.
And we're seeing him doing an excellent job of being a distraction. Vexen looking to move forward, grabbing the Rainmaker, keeping it on that platform, running it down, getting points on the board. That is a huge push to 26, especially for within the first minute and a half of the game.
Yeah, that's how you establish that dominance, and it makes you just feel like you're ready to go.
It really does, and we're seeing really aggressive gameplay here out of No Idea, LOL. But it's working very well for them.
Now, Duck Motif does have the time to turn this around, but they just need to slow down for, I think, just a moment. Just let their teammates join them again, get some paint control, and then we can bring the Rainmaker along. Ricky over here trying to catch Vexen off guard here, but there's 2 players down on this bottom left, so it's not the easiest place to drop down here.
It's definitely not, and No Idea, LOL is not making it any easier with the amount of turf that they're just constantly laying down. They have managed to find one member, but as long as that Junior and that Snipe Rider is up, it's going to be hard to find space to work with. That being said, they've managed to clear some, but the Rainmaker is not popped, so they aren't even really able to take advantage of it.
Now here's this Vac trying to build an opportunity for this Rainmaker to make it over there. They're going to get so close to it.
And they do clear the checkpoint. That is a huge checkpoint clear, but it's just Kai left up in mid. Probably going to want to jump out here, but no, choosing to hold it for just a little bit longer, drawing a little bit more aggro. But mid back in the control of No Idea, LOL. Rainmaker grabbed by that Snipe Rider 5H. Vexen moving forward. Do they know that Ricky's flanking? Seems like it at this point.
Now, Red Shell does have great control of this spinner here. It's all about making sure they can get this Rainmaker without losing too many of their teammates here. And unfortunately, they do have 2, I think even 3 go down here. And Caden's going to be the one that has to stop this Rainmaker push.
And they managed to. No extra points on the board, but another push to 26 essentially is not easy to deal with. Every time No Idea is pushing is time Duck Motif can't be. And that really adds up in situations like this.
And No Idea really showing how much they're willing to go into the enemy spawn in times like this, which is so important.
It is, and it makes such a big difference. This should be another quick Rainmaker pop. Not a grab, but the torpedoes coming out from that C Junior, adding extra support for their teammates, which is great to see. The Reef Slider coming out, finding one, not able to find a second, but every trade that Tetra gets is so heavily in the favor of No Idea right now.
I feel like I feel myself tense up when I see a Reef Slider like running at somebody, even if they're on a ledge. I'm like, it could get them now. It's higher up. The explosion's higher up. You're not safe. You're not safe.
It definitely is a lot more deadly than it used to be as the Rainmaker looks to move forward. Once again, every time they're pushing, even if they're not getting more points on the board, it really makes all the difference as long as they don't get wiped out here.
No, and all this extra paint that's going down here by No Idea is not helping Duck Motif. But with almost everyone gone here, it's up to Red Shell to stop this Rainmaker. Unfortunately, unable to. That's the end of the game.
That is the end of the game. Really clean game there out of No Idea, LOL. I mean, look at that map. It tells us everything we need to know. That game was in the favor of No Idea, LOL. Their paint is quite literally everywhere.
Yeah, from the start to the end of this map, that's just No Idea, lol.
Which is very exciting to see. I definitely went into this expecting Duck Motif to put up significantly more of a fight. Although that could always happen on our next stage, Splat Zone's Hagglefish. Always an interesting one, and definitely maybe will enable the Tetra a little less.
And also, I feel like Duelie Squelcher, oh my goodness me, is very strong on Hagglefish too.
It definitely is, and it's exciting to get to see, and I'm intrigued about how they'll do with it. That C Junior also will be able to lay down so much paint so consistently that their Snipe Rider can really focus on helping find picks.
Absolutely, and here's this push that worked so well in their favor. All they do is take one player down at a time, and that Rainmaker in the pedestal.
It's very exciting, and I'm interested in seeing what kind of comp changes these teams decide to make. It would be a surprise to me to see Duck Motif not switch over to some sort of Octobrush with Red Shell there, but you never know. I won't expect it to be a vanilla 96 Galagamo since it's not Rainmaker.
I mean, it worked out really well on Rainmaker for them. Even if they didn't win, I know what they wanted, right? And Zipcaster is so strong on Hagglefish.
And disrupting the enemy team's Snipe Rider adds up so much.
I think I'm just a Hagglefish fan. I used to not like Hagglefish zones. I used to be like, oh, this one's kind of boring. It kind of makes you sleep. But then, like, I feel like once you see how many different fights can go on Hagglefish zones, I became more of a fan of it.
Completely fair. Yeah, it's definitely a map that has a lot of very interesting things about it. The sides are so important to play, and it seems like it's just, oh, there we go. We're good. As Red Shell has switched over to the mini Splatling, so I guess Red Shell's not going to be on brush for us today, which is interesting to see. And we do see a Duelie Squelcher coming out. Should allow for a lot of mobility from Caden there. And no comp changes on the side of No Idea, LOL.
I mean, hey, the paint output from the mini Splatling, as we've seen from earlier matches today, is almost unparalleled.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the few things that can keep up with Junior's paint, so that should help them out a good bit here. As we're seeing Ricky try to find something with the bucket, but having to jump out.
Now we're going to see this have to back up just a little bit here. Very important to keep yourself alive here with this Snipe Rider. Every time you go down with the Snipe Rider, it feels like an eon.
It really does, because you're doing so much for your teammates. The Junior does go down, but finds a trade in the process, which is always exciting to see. Red Shell dancing around with this mini Splatling, looking to find a way to keep this zone painted, able to do it, and now has an Ultra Stamp ready to really lock this push in for Duck Motif.
Absolutely, which is what you want to see. Now, here's Duck Motif finally being able to do a lot of work here. Just holding off IDK Lol. That's not their team name. That's close to their team name. Oh no!
But yeah, No Idea looking to find something. The Tetra attempting to cap the zone with a Reef Slider that no longer paints enough to do it, but able to keep dashing around. But not really seeing a way in for them unless Vexen manages to find some huge picks here, which looks like it could happen. Dancing around Ricky, not able to find it in time. Just the Tetra coming in from behind. I don't think they know the Tetra's there. Looking to find a pick on the Snipe Rider. Not going to be able to. The Trip Strikes come out. The zone stays with Duck Motif. And that was a very dominant game for Duck Motif. Going to be going back and forth here on very dominant games.
I mean, I will say, if they had just a couple extra seconds, that Reef Slider could have at least, you know, neutralized the zone. But unfortunately, they just happened to run out of time.
Yeah, which, unfortunate. But now we're going to be getting into Game 3. Lots of great gameplay here out of Duck Motif. They played really cleanly. They found the slots they needed, and they locked down space really well. In game 3 will be Mako Mart Tower Control, so I'm very intrigued to see how they go about it.
Absolutely here. And we're going to just see some of these great plays here going on by both of our Snipe Rider players. It's a give and a take. There's so much balance when you're playing Snipe Rider that you have to keep up with.
There is, and it's important to make sure that you're staying up. And I expect to see the Snipe Riders sticking around here from both teams on Tower Control Mako Mart. Definitely a stage where I would be shocked to see a significant change in that regard. Although I now have no clue what Red Shell will play.
I mean, if we're sticking to this pattern of Red playing maybe more mid lines today, could we see Zinc mini Splatling? That's my bet. That's what I'm stamping in here.
It's definitely an option. It wouldn't shock me. We could also see the Vanilla mini stick around.
Ooh.
I would be shocked to see Ricky switch off of that Slosher for a lot of reasons, but mostly because Slosher's just ridiculously good on this stage.
It's all those walls, you know? And Snipe Rider is already so good here too with all the hallways.
And those weapons also just have really nice numbers together. They play very well together. And we haven't seen any comp changes coming out of No Idea LOL so far. I don't expect to see them here. But that Tetra needs to figure out a better way of disrupting Duck Motif.
I mean, you have a couple of really good platforms that I feel like the Tetra could stand on to cause some problems here. Wait, was the brush there? I might have seen it.
Oh, there we go. The Octo Brush is in play now. The Kraken kit specifically.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's exciting to see still, though. And I'm very intrigued at how this is going to go with Caden dancing over on that left side, supported by Red Shell, but not able to find anything, as it looks like No Idea LOL is finding some early space to work with here.
And we're going to see a pretty good, strong start here. Everything staying usually Red, just hoping to get a couple players out. Everyone bunched up over here on the left-hand side here. Red holding them back and letting Duck Motif get this tower early.
Yeah, getting to that first checkpoint. Looks like they might have the chance to clear it, although Vexen's trying to have something to say about it. Not going to be able to. Checkpoint cleared. Red Shell dancing around, looking to find the ability to cross. Able to. Not much a junior has to say about that, especially as so much comes out from Duck Motif to really keep the pressure locked down here.
I mean, there's still plenty of time, although tower control moves so fast. Luckily, this game isn't a game set match for either team, but you want to be the first team to get to 2. You don't want to let the other team get to that second point first.
Absolutely, and Red Shell using this Kraken at an excellent time to just keep pushing at the tower, get that checkpoint cleared, and now getting out of dodge, because survival is so important when there's only 2 players left up.
Absolutely. You know, here's the thing, though. When you really, really, really think about it, Kraken is just so strong here. The pressure is constant.
It definitely is, and we're seeing No Idea LOL looking to set up their own push. Vexen finding a huge early pick. Cooler going out a bit far back potentially, but jump-in's coming. Gritty having to dance around for a second and make sure that they're not getting picked off on this tower as Vexen tries to find the space to move forward, but Caden clears that quickly.
And we're going to see Caden here just hoping to keep up this pressure here. Duck Motif doesn't want to let No Idea LOL even get 1 checkpoint.
No, which leaves them in a ridiculously safe position, especially with triple ink strikes at the ready, looking to be able to clear a ton of space. The Tetra trying to find a pick on Red Shell on that tower, not going to be able to, but is keeping anyone else from touching the tower. That's not going to be enough with a push to 28 from Duck Motif.
Ooh, okay, and this is a great pick. Oh, never mind. I was about to say. Now, 3 players going down on Duck Motif is what No Idea LOL really needs. They need to catch Caden and just move them as far away from this tower as possible. But going down while doing it won't help out.
No, the Tetra, on the other hand, if there is one weapon you're okay with going down, it's the Tetra. They'll be back. That's what they do. But Vexen having to dance around, and I've yet to see Vexen actually be at more than like 50% health for very long, and that's not a position you want to be in. It makes it very hard to take the fights you need, especially when there are Krakens constantly getting popped out of Red Shell.
And this Kraken output has been so helpful for Duck Motif just to keep this game going.
It has. It really gives him a lot of stability. It gives him a lot of extra time to work with, because Kraken kills a lot of time. The other team can't do anything about you for that time period. And now Red Shell's looking...
2v2, I think.
It seems like it, but Red Shell rushing forward, trying to find a pick on the Snipe Rider, but if nothing else, distracting them enough that they can't do much else. A dually battle where Caden comes out on top yet again. And Caden has been doing so much work for Duck Motif here and has been putting out so much paint and doing a lot of damage.
Now, this might be the opportunity that No Idea Law wants. And as soon as I say that, unfortunately, they do lose another player. Kai being able to position with this cooler and able to hold down this corner all by themselves here.
They have, which is really impressive to see. It gives them a lot to work with, and it means that their pencil is able to keep Kai on that pencil is able to keep being that true anchor and jumping out as necessary, which is great to see, especially with less than a minute on the clock. You really don't want to risk getting wiped out here.
Now, almost to this ever-reliable Rainmaker, this Wave Breaker here. Holding on to that, I'm thankful that and the Tri-Strike's just being used to... Did they get caught on that strike?
It seems like it, but Caden not being able to find a way forward. The first checkpoint has fallen, just Caden left up, marked by that killer whale, going to have to keep moving around to avoid it. Down to 56 now, just 2 players left up for No Idea LOL. Caden going to be able to use that range to really force them away from the tower, even if they don't find the pick. The Tetra's up, but
here. Oh no! Red being able to close this out here, getting everybody who was hiding around the middle of the map here, now just able to pick off anybody who comes in one by one on the side here. Vexen, fantastic getting out of that though.
Really great job there. Not much time left on the clock. They find the Slosher. That's absolutely huge. That means there's no triple ink strikes to help bail Duck Motif out of this. This is still winnable for No Idea LOL. The killer whale comes out.
Oh, absolutely.
The Tetra goes down close to that reef slider, but not going to be able to survive long enough to use it. Caden gets to that tower with the silly mobility of the Dually Squelchers. The way Dually Squelchers move is so ridiculous.
That perfect slide on the tower there is just a great representation of how that weapon plays. Caden was all over the map in this game. One minute you would see them on top of stack. The next moment they'd be near the enemy base. The next moment they'd be flying off a ledge and going straight onto the tower.
Which makes such a big difference and is very exciting to see. Duck Motif taking a firm lead now, going into game 4, which is going to be Splat Zones on Barnacle and Dime. I imagine the Octobrush, specifically this kit, will stick around there, which I believe is the Galaxy kit, but I could have it wrong. It could be Comets.
I think it is Comets. I know there's a Stars, but
That's
I don't
Stars Dynamo, Planet's Big Swig. And then I think you're right. I think it's Comets Octobrush. Because why would we stick with an easy naming convention?
Just wait until we get those extra third kits and they
No, they're all going to be named after one weapon, one brand in the game, just like the Kensa kits were. They're going to make my life easy. They are not going to torment me a second time.
Can we just have Kensa come back? It's not too late. We're still missing some of them.
Yeah.
Kensa Machine! Kensa Machine! Hear me out!
I don't need her back in my life, actually.
But what if she has, there's a table turf card where, Machine has Whale? Or was it, a preview trailer from,
I think that was a preview
4 years ago?
To be fair, Splash was supposed to have Zipcaster if we're talking about the preview trailers. But
I don't hear you. La 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 la.
But we're going to be getting into Splat Zones, Barnacle and Dime here. Potential match point for Duck Motif. And we're going to be seeing Red Shell back on that mini Splatling, going to be able to lay down a lot of turf, keeping that Junior's paint at bay. And I like how much range they have. It makes it really hard for No Idea LOL to be able to combat them.
Yeah, absolutely here. A great range, I feel like, on the side of Duck Motif here. I feel like it's just going to be very easy for them to hold space.
Yeah, they definitely will be, and it seems like they're doing an excellent job of that so far, but Caden has gone down. The Tetra's managing to win that 1v1. Vexen rushing forward, able to find 2. That is essentially a wipeout with the pencil jumping out there, although there will be a cooler ready for Duck Motif to try and take this back quickly. But look at how much space No Idea LOL has already grabbed on that stage.
You know, they did lose 2 games in a row, but if I'm No Idea LOL, I want to prove myself. I got all the way to winners finals too, you know. I want to bring this to 2-2.
Yeah, and that first game was very dominant from there. The Junior able to find a double. Wow. Will they go for the third? They're at least going to paint around and try for it. Having to dash around. Going to be able to pop their own wave breaker here momentarily. The hammer goes down on the zone, and No Idea LOL looking dominant this game.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I said that they have a lot of range on Duck Motif, No Idea Lol has a great amount of aggression that they can work with here.
Yeah, Vexen not able to find anything that time, but they just need to focus on keeping paint laid down here and not getting picked off. Zombie drawing aggro, not going to be able to draw it for long enough, but they're going to be able to paint for long enough with that Junior and Snipe Rider looking to keep it down. They might be able to outpaint these trip strikes. It looks like they did. They just need to keep painting the zone. They just need
Look
to
at
find
all this
it, and
paint
there it
coming
is.
out.
Sometimes
Wow.
it truly is a game about painting, and No Idea LOL just showed that in that last little bit. And the 52 gallon Tetra just continuously kind of going, well, if we just get a trade, we win, right? And they did.
And
Getting
it
the trade
worked.
gave it to them because Snipe Rider and Junior paint so much.
Wow. I was so focused on the fight, I didn't notice for the longest period of time they were literally won.
Yeah.
I looked up and I was like, wait.
Oh, the game. It's almost over. It could end here.
It's just that push lasted for so long here. Like here, I just didn't realize they'd stopped it like so succinctly. That Wavebreaker was trying so hard just to try and catch anybody from No Idea Lol that crossed on over to the zone. And even though it didn't work, it was a great idea.
Well, it also could have just been for the ink tank refill. I'll be honest. Sometimes you just need your ink tank full.
Wow, and there's that 2-2 that we were talking about again. Neither of these teams have seen Clamblets in this set. This is uncharted territory.
It is. With the way these sets are set up, we're seeing it goes zones every other mode because teams tend to like that a bit. And so we do that pretty often. And Clamblets Scorch Gorge is always an exciting one. It's always a very interesting one. I don't think we're going to see major comp changes come out here, although we could see the Zimmy from Red Shell.
You think so? I'm almost in the ballpark, question mark, of seeing the Comet's Octobrush come back. Kraken can be so good on clams.
It definitely can. I just think that Toxic Mist and Big Bubbler are so effective with the way this particular stage is laid out.
That's true. I'm just thinking about the Kraken and how it can kind of really push into the enemy base side there. Right where that basket is, where it gets really tight.
It can. Luckily, people can't jump into it anymore, though, which, thankfully.
Tiebreaker!
Yeah, we're at game 5 here. It's both teams are at set point, which is so exciting. We're seeing that Custom Junior sticking around, and you were right with that Comet's Octobrush. And I'm very intrigued to see how this one goes. The first minute will probably be a lot of painting and skirmishing for mid. And who gets that mid will decide a lot here. As we're seeing so much turf getting laid down by both sides. Looks like No Idea LOL coming out on top with that first opening pick. But Kraken coming out from Red Shell, finding one, and looking to establish a strong potential push here, but not going to be able to find
there,
much.
Yeah, you can't overextend when you're in the middle of a Clamblitz game like this. You want to be able to show that dominance from the start, but you don't show it by throwing yourself in and having everybody wipe by minute 1.
No. Wiping is never a good thing in Clamblitz. It leaves you in such a vulnerable position. Cooler coming out from No Idea LOL. Killer Whale helping to lock down this street. Going to be able to enable No Idea to start a push. Looking to find the pick on Red Shell, weakening them. Having to dodge the other pencil shot. Down below 60 points. Good to see on a first push. And they're still not quite done yet. The Junior sneaking one more in. The Tetra trying to follow up. But the pencil staying up in mid will give them a lot of time and space to keep fighting here. And we're seeing another great opening from No Idea LOL.
Yeah, Giddy doing a fantastic job of just keeping these avenues open for the rest of No Idea Lol to find ways to keep that push going. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, Kai does manage to find the pick there. Red Shell rushing forward. That's a delayed wipe on No Idea. Not what you want to see in Clamblitz, especially. Kraken out, but nobody's grabbed a power.
Oh, and yeah, you're right here. Red Shell just here causing problems on purpose, but in a great position to keep things alive. Just to push and so close to getting actually a fantastic double. And there's the Reef Slider, which could lead to this push being a little short-lived. Ricky here with a bunch of clams. Are they going to be able to survive the landing? No!
No, and this is a rough position to be in. They're delayed wipe. They only got one power clam in, which gives a pity to No Idea LOL. They're going to have so much to work with. They're going to have so many clams, and there's a lot of potential here for a major push from No Idea.
And here's Zombie just waiting for the right opportunity to get a couple of picks. Zombie knows that in like a fast-paced 1v1, probably wins that fight.
Yeah, definitely a lot of advantages there.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, it's how it goes sometimes, as we're seeing Vexen and the Junior doing an excellent job pairing up to help pick off these players. Ricky going to be able to find this trade on the Junior, but no, getting cleaned up by Zombie. Going to be able to find a big push here. 2 power clams likely going to be able to get in. There
goodness.
They go, down to 36.
Zombie's HP, did you see? It was basically 0 there.
And that's where a Tetra likes to live.
Right on the edge.
I mean, they have 2 skirmish weapons, so it really allows them to take those risky plays. The power clam can't get in time. And
that
that's
was
almost
the end right there. Now,
this
is Duck Motif's opportunity, though. With the entire team getting wiped, they have to go now. They got 2 minutes, and they've got a lot of clams they have to get in here. They need, like, 3 whole powers, plus some more.
Yeah, it's a big ask. I don't think it'll get done in one push, and all of these torpedoes from the C Junior aren't making life any easier. A drop in from Vexen, flanking on that 52, does get taken out, but gives the rest of No Idea time to set up and establish. Really great job here of surviving this Kraken. The Junior skirmishing with the Slosher, keeping them away from their base. Because every second they're keeping them away adds up here.
And it's very difficult for Duck Motif to be able to flank with all of those torpedoes, with all the wave break, with all the auto bombs. There's a lot that's just preventing them from doing what they want to do.
There is Ricky trying to find the C Junior hanging on to life by a thread, going to be able to keep pestering and poking, looking to find the pick. The power clam goes in, but for what? There's nobody there to follow up.
How unfortunate. The rest of Duck Motif almost all the way back, although Red Shell could make a run for it. Red doesn't have the clams to really get any points right now.
No, and what we want to see from No Idea right now to really lock this down is to get mid-control back. Because if they can get mid-control back and stop Duck Motif from making a power clam, it makes all the difference in the world right now. That torpedo allowing that trade, that pick to happen, not even a trade. Caden forced so far back, mid back in No Idea's color. 20 seconds
the torpedoes and the auto bombs just provide so much awareness that No Idea gets to have. And Red with a fantastic double here. Even if they go down, this is probably what Duck Motif needs. They have the clam economy. They just need to get the clams over there and get that, like aforementioned, like 70 points.
Well, but now a Tetra's chasing down their Snipe Rider. Not what you want to happen if you're them. The jump does go out, but not able to do anything in time. And now this is No Idea's game. They're going to take this.
Yeah, that power clam is about to despawn there. The reef slider for extra measure, and that's the game.
Really great job there from No Idea. Didn't overextend, didn't take too many risks, and truly locked down mid, taking them to what I believe will be top bracket tomorrow, since that was winners finals. Very exciting, to say the least.
Now, here's the question. Maybe you know, as I do not. Does the team that's here also move on automatically to top bracket, or does Duck Motif have to fight somebody else to earn that spot?
I believe Duck Motif will likely have to fight somebody else, if I am remembering correctly. I also could be wrong. It might not secure them top bracket. I am not the best at brackets.
I've been informed they do have to fight somebody else. So you were right.
Which makes a lot of sense. And we are going to be passing this off to Sasu and Matt. And Vic, where can people find you?
You can find me most places. The YouTubes. I really like Blue Sky these days. VicVion, VICVILLON. It's a good time over there. I'm just yapping about whatever and playing every game under the sun.
And you can find me at NoxRaven42 on Blue Sky, Twitch, and YouTube. And stick around to see the rest of this tournament today and come back tomorrow.
True.
So you want to lead?
Hello, everybody. And we are back to 20XX Series 6. I'm Sasu here with the Matthew Mega, and we already have a really good set going. Well, not going, but about to go, because
About to begin.
you might
About to
have not
begin.
listened. It's day one. Things are chill. Like, it's not tomorrow's when the real, but we're already getting into it. Am I right, Matt?
Yeah. We got pinged just seconds ago saying our first match up, or first set up for today, Moonlight versus Wildcard. That was definitely what I was not expecting to jump into right today. But for everyone watching, this is this is losers bracket finals, meaning one of these teams is heading off into beta bracket, and only one of these two strong opponents is going to be going on to alpha. So these teams absolutely have to be playing at their best if they want to win 120xx, but first they got to make it to alpha bracket to do so. So we are starting off very strong with Clamblitz on Museum.
Yes, Clan Blitz Museum de Alfonsino. What a way to set the tone of this set. Moonlight, of course, I would say the North American darlings, very well loved, up against Wildcard, Div 1, and notably with Jared from Milky Way. So this is going to be a face-off for the ages. We're starting off. Interestingly, I remember last time around, there was a call, not many Splatlings played on Museum because they're just kind of charger lunch. And we might see that play out, seeing as though Jungle on that back line with the heavy versus Basil, of course, on Museum with a leader.
Leader's just hard to fight in general on this map. So Basil is going to do a really good job of holding the members of Wildcard back immediately. We try to see Jared up on the right, able to get the pick off of Nolan and on Shadow immediately, clearing up that right side for the members of Wildcard to use that. Omega trying to move up there, getting the trade, but Jared still staying up alive in mid. Wanted to maintain all that control as much as possible, having to be able to save his life, but unfortunately he's going to go down, but is able to take out the S-Blast before going down.
Yeah, and Jared was kind of like a one-man push there, just going through everything, and I think J-Blast tries to pick up that ball and get it in for an early lead. Not quite going to work out, but Wildcard all the while has been able to keep this section by the ramp. I think eventually they're realizing that they're staggering a little bit. They do go a little bit back to their plat, but ultimately, what a way to show aggression right off the top of the game.
Yeah, right away, seeing all of those picks, these players, they know they have to take as much room as possible for this game. And we do see Omega trying to shark out the members of Wildcard. They have enough clamps to start a push. They have Cooler, they have Zuka. They want to make a move, but we do see one of their members going down, so that's going to stagger their push a little bit. But we see Omega immediately up on the plat of Wildcard, able to get another pick, and we do see a jump out, but Wildcard automatically, with the jump outs, they're going to be taking control over mid, and they're going to have a lot of space going forward. They have to get their climbs up. They have enough to start a push, but they do need some specials online.
Yeah, I think the aggression coming out of Wildcard has just been really difficult to deal with. That bubble that we saw out of the roller really caused members of Moonlight to go back to their plat and reset. And in the meantime, two of their members are down, and Wildcard has the plat. Jared going to go on top and immediately pop that booyah there. So even though Jungle goes down, two members down, it's just QWQ. They're staying there, opting to do that. Maybe they feel as though they can get some stuff down, but ultimately it is going to be a delayed wipe. And Matt, that is down to 80. We all know that's not quite what you want to see. You tend to want to get down to a 60. So we'll see if it does serve them, or if giving the pity clam to Moonlight is their own undoing.
They only need one more climb to take that lead, and with this chance they have, Wildcard is 2 down, and the members of Moonlight are moving in fast here. We do see J-Blast getting another pick, but that's a wipeout, and Basil's able to run that climb right up, and they get 2 in, immediately taking the lead. And we do see Nolan getting those trades, and they want to get some extra clams there. Down to 60, but we do see another jump in, and they're able to get the clam in. 3 down on the side of Wildcard, and Moonlight picks up.
they might just be able to close this out if they just hold their space. Nolan is still there, bringing it down to 34. Basil, I think, ultimately just getting those extra clams. The clam basket is going to close, but what a lick back. Down to a 34 is nothing to sneeze at, especially because we're just under 2 minutes. Of course, Wildcard can bring this back. There's a lot of time, but that is a strong showing out of Moonlight.
I mean, don't even, they have such a strong push online, and they have control over mid. The members of Wildcard, they have just a minute and a half to get a really good push online here. We see the roller trying to, just moving around. They're trying to get the jump on them onto the members of Wildcard here, but they're really having trouble here. The members of Moonlight are doing a really good job of keeping Wildcard out of their space here. We see two of the members of Wildcard bunched up on the left there, and we do see Omega trying to just pick them off there, unable to do so, being forced to jump out. Wildcard gets a little more space to move here. They want to move into mid. They want as much control as they can. They need to get these clams online here. With just a minute remaining, Moonlight really just needs to defend her. They have such a good holding there, and they're able to get the pick off of the roller, which is going to be incredibly good for them.
Yes, I have to call out Omega getting that pick there on the block, because if you don't get that pick, someone might just be able to flank you there. And speaking of which, Moonlight has done a good job of getting a cheeky little clam in there, opening up the basket. So far, they're not through their penalty yet, but Basil is on the enemy spinner while the barrier goes back up. So very difficult to displace. And even more importantly, that wastes a lot of time, because Wildcard, they don't have a lot on their side. They don't have time, and they don't seem to necessarily have the paint. So Jared gonna see if they can make something happen. Ultimately going to go down there, and with 14 seconds left, they're going to have to get their hands on the clam economy, and they're going to have to do it fast.
We see Shadow just barely escaping there. They have that clam. They're going to be going into overtime, using the Booyah Bomb a little bit early to make sure they still live, able to get onto their plat with the help. That roller really is going to have to take a defensive position, but no, Nolan takes him out just in time there, and the members of Wildcard are just struggling to get in here. That Zap is going to go down to that Carbon. That's going to be a wipeout, and Moonlight is going to be taking game one of the set.
Yes, you have for style points, Shadow making sure to open that basket at the end just to get that stat pad in. And, you know, we mentioned it right off the top. Both of these teams are essentially playing for their lives to get into Alpha Bracket. The stakes are high, so getting that first game, I feel like that gives you a bit of a cushion of comfortability where you have a little bit more space to have errors going forward. So I'm sure Moonlight very happy to have this first game under their belts.
Yeah, I mean, down in losers finals, it's your last hope. You need to win these next 3 games or it's going to be over. At least in this scenario for Alpha Bracket. But Wildcard made a very strong opening, able to get some really fast picks, able to get that first score onto the board, but they weren't able to follow up with any clams. And really, they just didn't have that strong of a push online there. And they just kind of staggered it halfway through there. Moonlight able to get that wipeout, and they just had so many clams online right there, able to just throw it in. And then the extra clam that was thrown in by Shadow was just a really, really good play for Moonlight. They were able to get such a strong lead and just play it out for the rest of the game. And going on to Splatzone's Umami.
Yeah, you know, I have to bring up the fact it's very rare that we see the Carbon out of Omega. We tend to see Omega on a decaf. So this is it feels very vintage Moonlight, so to speak. And I think that the decaf is really strong, but Wildcard is really kind of throwing themselves at Moonlight. They have a lot of aggression and then some, but having that Carbon, I think, speeds them up a bit, and they're going to be sticking with it. So I think that ultimately we're looking at Wildcard having to see how they can deal with Moonlight's pace, especially because Jared has switched over to the dualies, I think, and off of the Forge. So we're seeing a bit more of an even mirror match here.
Yeah, Jared's taking this seriously. He's back on those dualies. It's going to be really strong crab. Really just such a strong special, especially on zones. Immediately we do see those zones kind of 50-50 halfway through. They're 2 down the side of Wildcard though, which is going to give Moonlight a chance to really push in here. And we do see Omega able to paint over that zone just in time there, and with 2 down, Moonlight takes control, and they want to push up. They don't want to give Wildcard any more space than they already have. But right immediately, we do see them picks go down there. We see their S-Blast go down. The members of Wildcard, they have their packed up, but no! E-Leader takes out, but we do see Basil taking out Jared. We see that cooler online there. But really, I mean, Moonlight taking a very immediate position, trying to just lock them out here. We see that Zap trying to get the picks there, able to trade with Omega. But with the E-Leader painting that zone back, Moonlight still has a decent hold on them.
Listen, the Queen's Charger takes no prisoners. As you see, Basil has been an absolute menace here a lot of the time. And I think Shadow going to go down. There's 1 down on either side. Currently, the zone is neutralized. But you see, Wildcard finally gets their hands on the zone and, more importantly, stalls out this run that Moonlight has had going. So Nolan gonna get that pick ultimately before going down. But I think things are looking a little bit more back and forth. But Wildcard definitely looking to keep both of these painted. Not super easy, of course, on this double zone game that you see. But they have to figure it out now, because 35, listen, that 50 will be done with in the blink of an eye if they really don't watch it.
Yeah, they had that control there. S-Plus goes down there. But we do see multiple players go down the side of Wildcard. This gives them the chance. Shadow able to paint over that zone. Having to fight off that heavy, though. But we do see, it really just Shadow's just going in for it. Wanting to get rid of that heavy is going to be necessary. Carbon does go down there. We see those zones flip 50-50. Able to give Wildcard a 25 penalty, which is going to be interesting to see how Moonlight is going to really push back in here. They want to take through that penalty as fast as possible. They have that Booyah Bomb online. They really just want to stall out time and stall this penalty down so they can really start scoring.
Yes, but you see one of their members are going to go down, and on top of that, Nolan gonna jump out. Of course, jumping back in, but still, I think that gives up a sufficient amount of space that you see Wildcard has been able to take this zone. They're getting double teamed a little bit here, but luckily they are going to get traded out, and J-Blast, I think, jumping in there and getting their jump camp as well. So right now, things are in a little bit of neutral. We're just past the 2-point mark, but it just seems like the pace is really belonging to Moonlight, and it doesn't help that, you know, I think having Basil on that top mid, just sniping people. But in the meantime, it looks as though Wildcard has finally found their stride. They're moving up to the choke, and it may look like, listen, they're at 68, but they're already past their penalty points, and it can be so easy to stagger here. So I actually think Moonlight might be in a little bit of trouble if they're not able to break through their own choke.
Yeah, Jared was really able to hold them back, but they're painting those zones there. The heavy doing whatever they can to keep that paint going, but 2 down on the side of Moonlight. Wildcard is able to keep the zone. They don't have too many ticks left here. Just 5 remaining. The members of Moonlight have to move in, but it does look like Wildcard is going to be taking that lead there, but the Carbon goes down there. Booyah Bomb goes out there. We see Nolan move up there. 2 members down on the side of Wildcard, but they still have control over the zone.
Yes, but it is currently neutralized, and Moonlight finally stopped that huge momentum run by getting the picks that they need. 1 down on either side, becoming 2, and I think Wildcard moving in once again, trying to see if they can just 2v1 Basil, but Shadow comes in to clear that out, gets the Carbon down ultimately, and I think Moonlight has done, once again, a good job of getting back into zone. So they're watching their spacing now. They're not moving up too far, and I think they know what goals they have to do in order to win this. We only have 23 seconds left. The cooler comes out, and I think that Moonlight are in a really great position, but we saw how great of a position they were in before they were moved up on. So this Booyah is going to come out, going to take that space, and we'll see if Wildcard lets us stand in the last 10 seconds.
We do see multiple trades going over. Moonlight is able to take the lead, but they get the wipeout, and that is gonna be a really wow. I mean, for a second I thought Wildcard just took control there, but able to just barely get that wipeout, able to score a very close game too. I mean, if I was one of the players for either one of these teams, I'd be at the edge of my seat right now. I mean, we saw how close, just barely a lead, but still able to take it in the end.
Yeah, just barely. That was such a close game. It seemed as though Moonlight for a long time they had it, but then this monster push coming out of Wildcard, because despite the fact that it was just kind of people getting picks in mid, you know, maybe a little bit of staggering coming out of Wildcard, I think that Wildcard did a really good job of pushing Moonlight back into their base and then threatening them into a position where they could have just lost based on time alone, not being able to get out of that difficult position. But, you know, Moonlight, they are a very seasoned team. I think they stayed calm, they knew what they had to do, and that's what won them the game.
Yeah, I mean these teams, their coordination is just on another level. I mean when you are one of the best teams in the country, I mean you gotta be playing at your best. You gotta know how to coordinate with your teammates. And even when Wildcard took lead, with not a lot of time remaining to put that in there, they didn't really have a lot of time. But even with Wildcard taking that lead there, Moonlight knew what they had to do. They knew where their players were. They knew where they knew where the four of them were, and they knew how to really push in and take back that game. So I mean, Moonlight is just on another level of coordination. Their pushbacks have just been incredible throughout this entire set, and Wildcard has been able to keep up with them so well.
Yeah, and I think we can agree that both of these teams are alpha bracket level teams.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate that one of them is ultimately going to have to fall to beta bracket. And Wildcard, of course, they're going to have to work extra hard to make sure it's not them, seeing as though Moonlight is currently at set point. If they win this tower control haggle fish market game, that will be it, and Wildcard will be sent to beta bracket. So we see, I don't know that last time around they had an S-Plat. I think this is literally almost, or at least it was almost a mirror match, but Omega going back to the tried and true, the classic decaf that he's really well known for.
Yeah, Bubble's gonna be incredibly strong here, so I see why the change was really needed there. But immediately we do see Wildcard. We see one of their members go down there. Omega on that right side. We see Nolan on the left. Both of them making these incredible flanks there. Shadow able to pick up that trade there. But two down on the side of Moonlight. And we do see Jared immediately flanking. But no, Basil points it out right away, completely denying him of that push. And Basil just, I mean, is up in their faces.
Yes, she is on fire. Almost gets that pick on J-Blast. Doesn't quite do it. J-Blast jumps out. But so far, neither of these teams have really had a healthy push going on the tower. Especially Jared had that crab out, threatening anyone who would go in mid. But you see two members of Moonlight down. Maybe going to have a bit of an opening for Wildcard there. But they are biding their time. The cooler comes out. I think some people are going to have to back up a little bit to go get that. QW at the side here, not quite coolered either, though they do have bazooka. So unfortunately, we see a bit of a failure to launch here, despite those two members down. Wildcard not able to make anything out of it.
But immediately we see there 3 down on the side of Wildcard, and that gives Moonlight finally, I mean, it's been a minute and a half, and now the first push is happening. It was just a fight for mid, and now Moonlight gets that first push online. They have Bubble ready. They're gonna want to pop it soon here on that next checkpoint. We see that Booyah Blast coming out, making sure they have enough room to move on to the flat of Wildcard. They have that first checkpoint, but it does look like they're gonna stagger just a tiny bit, and Wildcard keeping up with their defense. There goes that bubble there, and they're still picking in the tower. 2 down on the side of Wildcard. They have to use that crab wisely. It does go out there. We see Nolan forcing him back there, and Moonlight is still keeping up that tower.
Yes, but good on Wildcard for stopping them and getting them to back up, because we know that tower hagglefish can be so snowbally. Once you're on that tower, especially past a certain point, defending can just feel so terrible, not to mention the passive advantage that you get from being the team pushing with the tower. So you see Nolan trying to chip off the person who's currently on that tent section. QW with a very wise jump out, not going to go down, and Basil ultimately watching mid, no doubt looking to the right to cover the person who's on tower, and watching for that carbon that may be anywhere at any sort of time. So gonna get that quick pick off of Jared, who Maybe pops Crab, not quite knowing where Basil is, and this is just a difficult game for a wild card. It's so hard to stop the bleeding here.
Yeah, I mean, they have it. They have been able to stop Moonlight from getting onto that next checkpoint, but they are approaching it now. That bubble's going to help them out a lot there. Zuka trying to force them out. We do see one go down there, but no. Omega just keeping up that pressure as much as possible. Jared able to throw them off with the crab there, and the members of Wildcard are finally able to push mid. They have the picks that they need, and now they really have to take as much control as possible. Omega trying to go in with that flame, but the members of Wildcard are able to notice and point it out there. We see J Blast trying to take them out there. Omega still sharking them. It is going to be a trade there, and Moonlight is going to want to try to push up here with the fact that there are 2 down on the side of Wildcard, and it's going to really be a fight for mid control now. Moonlight has just been doing such a great job of keeping that control.
Yes, especially you have Nolan here getting that assist there, checking that right to put some pressure on anyone who dares flank. And gonna pop that Booyah as well for good measure, denying a lot of that space. And so far, Wildcard, unfortunately, not able to even necessarily get on that tower. But you see that 1v1, Jared coming out on top over Nolan while people jump into that mid. And I think all the while, Wildcard has been just trying to watch the people that are coming in, but you have a double on Zuka here out of QWQ, getting 2 of the members down, so Basil having to readjust and get ready for that push because last 30 seconds or so, and Wildcard finally making their way to the checkpoint, but of course they have Basil to contend with now.
They are able, it looks like they are able to clear that checkpoint, but now slowly approaching the charger. We see that Booyah Bomb going off there. Jared trying to keep them off from fighting in mid. Omega completely backed up here. They want to go for a huge flank here, and it doesn't look like the pen notices them. And they point it out here? The bubble goes down there, and with less than 10 seconds remaining, they do notice it, but Omega able to get one of them. And with 2 down inside of Wildcard, Moonlight jumps on the tower and is gonna be taking that set 3-0.
Whoa, that is a flank of all time for sure, because I think it might have been a lot more difficult to end the momentum of that push if Omega didn't decide to just come out from behind. So like you said, that is going to be a 3-0 there for Moonlight, putting Moonlight in that alpha bracket, Wildcard in that beta bracket, and yeah, that's the thing about wildcards is you never know what they're going to do. They can be super strong, but sometimes they unfortunately don't work out. But we saw some really strong plays out of every single one of the players, so definitely have to give a shout out and a lot of applause for Wildcard.
Yeah, I mean, even with how strong of a team Moonlight is, I mean, going up against a tyrant of a team like them is just already going to be a hard enough approach, but they were able to do such a good job of keeping up and able to get really good pushes online. But I mean, we saw how Moonlight, we saw them playing at their best. We see how they're able to defend so well, and it's just so hard for the members of Wildcard to move in and get that push going. But easy to say, I mean, they really did keep up with them all 3 games, and that's what really matters here. We saw some great fights, we saw a great set, and with that being said, Moonlight is going to jump up back into winners finals, while it looks like Wildcard is going to be going off into beta bracket.
Yeah, so Moonlight gonna have a chance, I think, at that $400 or so pot in alpha bracket, closing off the rest of the set. But we saw it in the replays. I want to give a shout out to QWQ getting that double on Zuka at that on that flank there. Really good play that we saw, and of course, Omega just playing really well with that flank. I think all of the members, I saw some really good plays out of everybody. Basil playing out of her mind. We saw some crazy shots out of her as well.
I mean,
she's in it today.
Especially, I mean, number one, Jared popped such an aggressive crab there to get that pick, but did not know that Basil was just sitting right there. And I don't even know if that was a full shot that came out of the E-leader. But it was just able to just cleanly knock Jared off. And it was just such an incredible play. I mean, Crab, such a strong special. And I mean, it's been a strong special ever since this game first came out. I might be a dually player. But Crab is just such a strong special, and we've seen how well it's performed over the past 3.5 years. So being able to take it off like that is just it's such a good feeling. I think Basil was really happy getting the Crab out of there. And I mean, Crab's just one of those specials. It's great at defending and it's great at retakes. So just incredible performance from Moonlight, but Wildcard doing such a great job of keeping them at bay, to say the least. So really good set to start off our commentary run here, Sasu.
Yeah, the set. But despite the fact that is going to be done, definitely shout out to both of those teams and getting to see that gameplay. We are going to be moving to Sun Eater versus Sanagi in this next set. So I think we'll just be probably going straight into it.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. Rather than taking a break. That is just we were coming in hot, Matt.
We're jumping in.
What a first set to
the voice in our head. We joined the VC, and then 2 seconds later, the voice in our head. You guys ready? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is because that's
We're
for all
going
the
right
marbles. You know what I mean? You have both of these teams that are known. I feel like everyone has their eyes on Div 1 to see how well Wildcard does. Jared, of course, in Milky Way won the North American League, and Jared is one of the best dually players in NA. Probably also in the conversation with Thunder, who is on Team Azure, also playing in 20XX. So having all those people, I'm sure, super interested in who is going to see Alpha Bracket. Lots of Moonlight fans, Wildcard fans, Milky Way fans. Crazy hype on day one.
I mean, you think you save all the action for day 2 when it's all the top teams, but I mean, even in day 1, the top teams gotta fight each other, and someone's gotta comment. Someone's gonna be commentating. That's why we're here, guys.
Someone's gotta be commentating, and it's
I mean,
us.
It's such an amazing performance. I mean, I was watching. I believe earlier when the stream first went live, I mean, we started, I think, really strong with a 3-2. So these matches have just been so incredibly close between all of these teams, and I mean, they're all best of 5s as well. So you have a little bit more time to get to know your opponent and get to come up with counters instead of a best of 3. So all of these teams really just are giving it their all. They know each other. They know how they're going to be playing. And I mean, looking at this bracket, I just want to point out, and we actually were told this earlier, Ascension wiping both Wildcard and Moonlight 3-0, which was something that, at least for me, I did not expect to happen. So Ascension's been really on a streak going forward here. I mean, able to take off both the seeded 1 and 2 teams is just incredible for them.
Yeah, that is crazy work. You see Azure, the aforementioned Thunder, their team just doing really well through seemingly their group going 3-0 twice in a row. No surprise there, perhaps. They were the first seed in their group, so they will be moving on presumably to Alpha Bracket as well. But yeah, honestly, I hope that the people that are watching who are maybe saying, well, I don't know about 20XX, you know, I'm no Moonlight perhaps. So I'm not going to, I hope that they feel a little bit inspired to join. You have all of these groups. There's a bracket for everyone in that day 2. As both of us are LAN players, you know that sometimes, especially if you go to a major, you may not necessarily, sometimes all of your games are in the same day. Maybe you don't make it to a game 2. So the fact that there is a bracket regardless of how you finish, and then you have to play all your groups, is definitely a lot of fun. So we're looking at Group E, Matt. You have Duck Motif going down 2-3. So no idea, lol. I'd say with love and respect to that pickup, jot that down for the, Pop Gun has those awards at the end of the for worst pickup name. Might have to jot down no idea lol. But obviously they're doing a really strong job. You see them overtaking the first seed there, waiting, I think, in grand finals for their group.
Yeah, they're waiting on Duck Motif in Fall Guys W game. Waiting on that game to finish up there. Taking a look at Group G, we see Hypernova, another really strong opponent, going 3-0 in both winners finals and in grand finals against that seeded 1 team. And Hypernova, a Division X team, you know they're just gonna blaze through. They want that alpha bracket. They're just gonna run through. Hypernova, another really strong competitor for alpha bracket tomorrow. And I mean, as someone who went up against some of the players of Moonlight last month, I mean, the amount of pressure you feel fighting these high and top level teams is just incredible. And it's really just amazing to see all these teams come together for one huge tournament. I mean, it's not every weekend you see a 2-day tournament.
Yes, so Syzygy, I think, ultimately going to go down to Hypernova in that last bracket. They're overtaking and crazy, like you said, first seed Syzygy. So well done to Hypernova there. Obviously, like you mentioned, a Div X team. I think looking at the next group, it's going to be Seitei War, the second seed, waiting for what we are going to be casting, Sun Eater versus Sanagi. So once that is done through, of course, Sun Eater is the first seed in this group. So Seitei War, if anything, that's the true war. Going up against Sun Eater once again, especially because they sent them down to losers 1-3.
Yeah, I mean, and finally looking in on Group I, we see On My Soul taking a close game 5 against Beaver, and On My Soul is currently waiting on their losers bracket, which is Beaver and Estrella. It's too low quality. Is that an A or no? Astralatech, I believe. Currently down 0-1 to Beaver, and I mean, just seeing all of these top level players spread out between these different groups. I mean, and you can just see them. But I mean, especially earlier when we saw what I was pointed out with Ascension, I didn't even expect Ascension to just blaze through Moonlight so fast. So there's a lot of new competitors, a lot of teams that have been considered high level for a while, finally making a little bit of a break, and taking a 3-0 to Moonlight is very impressive. But going forward, looking back at our current match, we have Sun Eater and Sanagi. We're going in with the same map list we just had, starting off on Clams Museum. And I mean, this map is just, I will say this map is a pain in the butt to push in on.
Yeah,
I had
think
my fair share of moments with this map, especially at a recent
Basil
LAN.
leaders that are just getting those headshots on your crabs in mid. Yeah, I think that, like you mentioned, Museum del Alfonsino, I think this map gets a lot of guff. A lot of people
Especially for me.
Struggle a lot with it, because I think that if you're up against a charger, they're gonna want to take that center spinner, so they have a great vantage point of that flank of what's going on in front of them. But I won't be surprised if we end up seeing like pens rather than leaders. Basil maybe cut from a different cloth, but this is going to be Clam, so both of these teams, of course, bringing their pen in. And other than that, you know, I always have to shout out a Forge. We do have 2 active here.
I mean, Forge Pro's been getting a lot more recognition lately. I mean, Blia Bomb's still a very powerful special, and I've seen it in place a lot of S-Blast, so it's great to see. But immediately we do see the Gao going down on the side of Sanagi, trying to push in on that right, but unable to do so. 2 down, and Sun Eater is immediately pushing up there. They have that crab, they already have a Clam, and No Name is just running it. And with just less than 30 seconds into the game, Sun Eater is scoring.
Yeah, what a push. You see that they are at 59, so they've blazed right past that 60-point mark that we do want to see. I feel like they almost used that hammer to get out of dodge from that Booyah, and all the while they have continued to get those clams in. They're down to 38 already. Ace trying to hold this space with bombs as well. So it feels like Sun Eater just absolutely has Sanagi's plat section on lock. It's just Ace here, but it's also just 11 points. Unfortunately, none of their teammates are able to follow up from that, but what a monster push right at the start of the game.
I mean, wow. Immediately, with just a minute and 15 into the game, Sun Eater pushing down all the way to 11. It just shows that these guys are ready to win this set. They just want to make these advanced pushes. They want to just push in as fast as possible, but the members of Sanagi are on their platform, and we do see their first score going in there immediately. Splashdown coming in there, able to clear off their plat a little bit. The members of Sanagi really moving in there. They have a lot of clams online, and it's up to Sun Eater to defend them out.
Yes, a lot going on, especially because they've gotten down to 26. They've really responded in turn here. Ultimately, that is going to be where this ends, but more importantly, you see Sun Eater, when they were done with their monster push, basically everyone was down, and yet Sanagi has still managed to keep a lot of that space. That Gal is still there. I think those whales are going off as well, and Jiki here has that mid as well, so I think that there's a lot of pressure still coming out from Sanagi, despite the fact that the push has ended. But in the meantime, I think they've understood maybe we're a little bit in too deep. We have to bide our time and back up a little.
Yeah, I mean, we're just halfway through the game, and we've seen such completely powerful pushes coming from both teams. I mean, 26 is already crazy enough, but down to 11 is also crazy. Immediately, we do see those coolers going down there. The Pens doing a great job of providing space for their team, but we do see that Booyah Monk coming in there. Hino trying to get a pick onto anyone that they can here. Ace also taking aggressive position with that pro, able to help get rid of that 52 before jumping out to somewhere more safe here. But Sanagi is really just trying to push into mid here, but the members of Sun Eater really contesting them. We see Keto able to pop that Booyah Bomb before it goes off, and that's going to be really huge for Sun Eater to push in and get a lot more space.
Yes, but now I think that they're in a tricky situation because with two of their members down, they have to simultaneously watch their ramp as well as that side block to make sure no one just makes a sneaky push. But I think two members down on Sun Eater here while that crab was popped on Spinner, but I think they get harassed enough that they just have to jump out.
Yeah,
I mean, get out with
I'd be scared.
Life. Wow.
I'd jump if I were them. I think that's a safe play here. We do see another Booyah Bomb, though, get shredded. I mean, Sun Eater just really doesn't like fighting Booyah Bomb. They just want to shred that as fast as possible. And Booyah Bombs is such a good special to push out your opponent. So really crucial that Sun Eater gets rid of them here. But they are one down there. We see Ace trying to get another pick, but the Pen's able to finish him off just in time. Another Booyah Bomb goes off there. They're close to their Pen. They're two down on the side of Sun Eater. And the members of Sanagi are really looking to push here.
Yes, absolutely. And you see one of those balls does go in. It's just the blaster. I think they're trying to finesse how they're going to get that ball, but it's just not going to be possible with three members of Sun Eater on their own plat. So they get rid of the blaster. All the while, TK is still in this mid. I think they get blinded a little bit by that Booyah Bomb and ultimately mowed down there by Kito. So Sun Eater knows that with just less than 30 seconds left, they are on the back foot, and you see that Sanagi's penalty not really all that strong. They might be able to just kind of breeze past this if they have two clams on their side. So we're looking at the clam economy. Sun Eater steadily has it. They're gonna make a throw at that basket. We'll see if there's any follow-up from No Name, and they get one stray clam in there, ending the game ultimately. Wow.
Okay.
Style points for sure at the end there.
I got scared for a second there. I mean, at first I was like, why are they throwing a clam in? You're only going to give them another power clam, but that sneaky little extra clam to seal the deal for that overtime, completely shutting down any other chance for Sanagi to get a overtime push, completely denied. But I mean, crazy how both of these teams were able to push up and get such huge leads so fast.
Yeah, I think we were less than half the game when Sanagi made that push all the way down to 26. You see it here on replay. Just an absolute barrage down. And look, we're not even at the 3-point mark. We were just under 2 minutes elapsed in the entire game. So the aggression coming out of these teams, and then both of them essentially being deadlocked. Sun Eater, I think, after that, except for at the very end there, not able to quite make a pass at the enemy basket either. So really evenly matched what gameplay we saw just right out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible first game. We saw how quick both teams were to make that push, and Sun Eater ultimately able to just defend a little bit better than Sanagi and able to just apply so much pressure. Getting down to 11 was already so huge, and Sanagi just couldn't get enough clams to come back from that. Now going into game 2, the question is who's gonna get that first lockout? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, and honestly, even if they get that first lockout, it might not be the last. We'll see if that even happens, because Umami, I feel like it's a lot of either you get that lockout or it's a lot of both teams just keeping those zones constantly in neutral. But you see 3 members already down for Sanagi, with the last one getting the cooler out and trying to check the people who come into this choke point you see there. And I think that Jiki has already set up on that dome, trying to get their picks, though. They now are going to have to contend with a leader. So this might be a whole different ball game than we saw last game.
I mean, we saw how quick they were to take control here. 3 down, though, again. Ace taking a very aggressive position with that 52, able to get the picks that they need here. Hammer going out there, unable to get the pick. Kido immediately taking control over Dome. That's going to be a really good play, making sure the members of Sanagi aren't able to push in there, getting pushed on foe, but they do have that cooler. And we're already down into the 40s. 2 down again, 3 down, and Sun Eater is just up in their faces.
Absolutely. You were looking for who's getting that first lockout. It's looking like it's going to be Sun Eater. They are well positioned here, and there is not that much time left. Now they lose their gal, so I think they recognize that they have to back up. They don't have that use of the wall anymore. However, critical pick here with the hammer out of the wiper, and 3 members down. That is not going to be enough time. Jiki tries to neutralize that zone, but time has just gotten out of their hands, and that is going to be a 100-0 push there for Sun Eater.
I mean, wow. We saw how Sanagi was really able to push all the way down on Sun Eater, but really just didn't have the space to move in. The members of Sun Eater were just so fast to set up on their plat. They really just did not give them much time at all to move, and Sun Eater really did. They're in this to win. And we saw Sanagi trying to push that splashdown, capping the zone, but really just not enough, because by the time that splashdown went off, they were already 2 down, and Sun Eater just had so much control this second game there. And this is exactly what they want. They want to put Sanagi on the edge. Sanagi has to win the next 3 games if they want to win and have a chance in Alpha Bracket. But Sun Eater is just on it. They want that Alpha Bracket. They just need to win this next game to confirm it.
Listen, it's very possible. Plus, I think that Sun Eater, as a comp, they just had way more paint as well. They had a zap and a wiper and a pen. And I think they were going up against a gal, and a leader and a blaster, and just a lot of things that don't necessarily have paint. So I think Sanagi may be going back to the drawing board with their comp, especially because they switched out their pen for a leader. So I think maybe they're still flexible in their comps, and they have to figure out what it is that's not helping them in these games and figure it out fast, because like you said, they literally need a reverse sweep to, I think, get the bracket that they want. I'm not quite sure if this is necessarily hinging on who gets to the bracket that they're looking for. I think it is probably, but Sun Eater, they're taking no prisoners, and I'm guessing that they're looking to do the same here in Hagglefish Market Tower.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams want to fight for this spot in the grands of their groups, and it's up to this final game. This will determine it. I mean, it's up to Sun Eater to win this next game, and it's up to Sanagi to take this game and get that momentum going. They want to win. They just have to get some kind of really strong push online. But we do see the Dually Squelchers coming out, which is something I haven't seen in a while.
Yes, the custom Dually Squelchers, no less. The one with chumps and beacons. Perhaps they're just kind of going for a style of play where they're constantly jumping in a bit more, or maybe this will help them with the paint that I was mentioning that they didn't quite have. But you see, that is going to be a canceled Zuka there out of the shot. Sun Eater already has this early push, and Tower Haggle can be, we saw before, it can be kind of snowbally. You can get a really deep run. So Sanagi have to figure out how to shut this down and shut it down quick.
Immediately pushing up, we see multiple go down there. The members of Sun Eater, they have that cooler. They want to approach this next checkpoint, and they want to approach it as strong as they can here. They have just 5 seconds before taking it, but the members of Sanagi are really quick to act, completely forcing them back into mid, making sure they don't get that second checkpoint, which is going to be crucial for them. But they are 3 down, and it looks like Sun Eater is looking to just add as much pressure as they can.
Absolutely, and the king of pressure is a leader. They have the leader just watching them here. Ace gonna pop that booyah. Not quite, I think, going to get anybody, but ultimately they are still on the tower. Jiki going to move forward to see if they can chip anyone. Ultimately, they get checked. 2 members down for Sun Eater, though, so I think that Sanagi is going to sufficiently shut down this push, and that was certainly a close one. You see that Sun Eater made it down to 9 single digits, Matt. That is absolutely not what you want to see, especially so early into the game. Both of these teams have unmatched aggression just off the top of the games.
And they're still pushing. I mean, we're 2 minutes into this game, and they're still being as aggressive as possible, able to trade with that blaster. We do see that bubble gull up there. We see a lot of picks going on there, 2v2 on the board there. We see the shot jumping on tower to make sure they don't get that checkpoint. The Zap trying to do whatever they can to stall it. They are able to get it 2 down on the side of Sanagi. We see the members of Sun Eater all jumping in here, and it's down to this. We see the Dually Squelchers able to get another push there, able to take out the blaster as well, and that is a wipeout. And Sun Eater gets shut down, and Sanagi stays in the game.
Whoa, that was a nail biter. You had all of the members, as happens on tower, just jumping in, touching the tower, hoping that that's enough momentum to just eke out the points that they wanted. But Sanagi really held strong and made sure to just dismantle everyone one by one. And in the meantime, 2 members of Sun Eater are down. The Zuka's coming out and coming after that pen that gets out of dodge, says, I want absolutely nothing to do with this. And not to mention, this custom blaster has the splashdown online. Not quite going to find a pick, but what's more important is that finally Sanagi has gotten a push going and has some points on the board, so they haven't been completely shut out yet.
Yeah, I mean, down to, I don't even know if I should say Sanagi's score right now. The demons are telling 67. Me not to. The demons are telling me not to. Sun Eater
I'll say it
up
like
with that push. Sun Eater pushing up again. 2 down on the side of Sanagi. Sun Eater is just, they've been so aggressive this whole entire set there. Able to get another push online. They want to get that KO there. They are able to get another push. Bubble able to just hold it out for that checkpoint. 2 down. They've reached that checkpoint again. They want to try to cross it. The Dually Squelcher is denying them, and that is another wipeout. And Sanagi throws them out again. But down to this, I mean, Sanagi doesn't have too much time, especially if Sun Eater gets another push like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself that you can't even necessarily be happy about getting a wipeout like that, because you've stopped the other team from getting the entire game, but like, you have a lot of things that you have to do, and so ultimately we're going to see this leader get that great pick. the Zap is offline and they back up, but I think having a GG Booyah there, not quite at the GG, but it is the Booyah, definitely going to make Sun Eater feel a little bit more comfortable on this defense. And I think that Sanagi has their pace going. They've made it past a checkpoint finally, and if they're able to set up and push past this, they might actually be back in the game and beat this at the very end.
These last 10 seconds, Sun Eater able to force them out, 2 down on the side of Sanagi, and it looks like with those final picks, that's going to secure the game. And with that wipeout, Sun Eater takes a very fast 3-0 over Sanagi.
Yes, they had to really fight for it in the end there. You saw twice they were in the enemy base, everybody just jumping in, trying to force it through, but they had to get the win the old-fashioned way via time, but not for lack of trying from Sanagi. They were really sort of giving them a run for their money. They stopped Sun Eater from getting the knockout more than once. And I feel like we saw some strong play out of them as well, especially in that last push.
I mean, what an incredible way for the last set for day 1 of 20XX. I mean, Sun Eater just really showed that they're in it to win it. They were able to get these incredibly fast pushes all throughout the game, and still, despite the fact that they got down to 9 and they really couldn't get past that checkpoint, Sun Eater just kept up all of their strength and really just they really were in it to win it. And even if they couldn't get any points from a push, they wanted to continue it, and they wanted to just ride out as long as they could to delay Sanagi from getting any extra points there, because especially when that tower is still going back into mid, the enemy has some extra time to really set up an attack. And I think that's what Sun Eater was really using to their advantage.
Absolutely. What a strong set, despite the fact that I think both of these sets were 3-0s. I feel like they were kind of nail biters a lot of the time. I was like, oh my gosh, like things are getting like really tight at the end there, especially in that last game where I was thinking, I think if they play their cards right, they might be able to just swipe those points, especially in something like tower control, but it wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. And I think that you get into that losers bracket, and that decides what bracket, essentially, for the most part, depending on where you are, you're gonna be sent to. So I think that's alpha bracket for Sun Eater. They were the first in their seed. And I think there's just one game, like one ongoing match in Group E that is still continuing at the moment. We have Duck Motif versus Fall Guys, as you said, W game, 2-2, and everything just hangs in the balance. Ryan's Courser saying hi to us. Of course, I think I said earlier, my apologies, you do not play out that Grand Finals game up there. No Idea cleanly made it into Alpha Bracket. Good for them, especially as the second seeds. But yes, a nail biter as Duck Motif and Fall Guys determine who's going to come out on top here.
We do have where the Duck Motif is trying to I mean, Duck Motif, just what a strong team. I mean, they lost 2-3 against No Idea, but really keeping up. They want to get that alpha bracket spot, and that is their final game to do so. And we weren't able to comment, but Rainmaker Undertow is definitely one of those solid Rainmaker maps that anything can really go on. So it's gonna be, I think that match is gonna be a nail biter as well. But I mean, all throughout the group stage, we've had incredible games. I mean, it was 6 teams per group. 6th and 5th place went on into Gamma. 4th and 3rd went on to Beta, and 2nd and 1st are going on to Alpha. So whoever is in the Grand Finals is confirmed for Alpha Bracket no matter what. And we see those top teams there on our screen. We see PXG, Gray, Noah, Goss, and Argo completely wiping their group. Apocalyptic, We have two allies actually, and then Sky and Roman. We see we see Mondi and Emil, Reyes and Pita, but I mean, such strong opponents throughout this entire tournament, to say the least, and it's only gonna get crazier tomorrow.
Absolutely. Taking a look at Ascension, who really did ascend. What a great job getting to that first point, standing straight into Alpha Bracket. Moonlight just barely eking out wild card at the end there to earn their spot in Alpha Bracket as well. And I think the rest going to be split off into different brackets as well. Unfortunate there, but I think... Actually, I say unfortunate. That's not true. Extremely fortunate, because there are other tourneys where, you know, sometimes you just go straight into bracket and you're out of it. But 20XX, it is for everyone. There's a bracket for everyone. There's a group stage for everyone. So luckily, those teams will have to contend and maybe come out on top on their bracket tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, looking in further, we see Azur, Zenith, Thunder, Volti, and Yosha, another super strong contender for the Alpha Bracket tomorrow, and King as well. I've seen King a lot lately, Santos, Soren, Ultra, and Zog. I mean, another really strong team. I mean, all the teams in Alpha Bracket are going to be teams to look out for, to say the least. But I mean, even Beta Bracket is looking also really stacked going forward. So no matter what group no matter what group you're in, you're going to be fighting some high-level opponents.
Absolutely. I think that Passion Fruit there has Kool-Aid Sunny, Zach, and Tran Q there. And I think that those are also well known to be very strong players. Like you were saying, Beta Bracket, we saw Wild Card before, Passion Fruit is there. There are like some top players who are playing in DivX. Who are going to be in, because I think Sunny for sure is in DivX. So like, even though we're talking about Alpha Bracket, Beta Bracket's going to be nothing to sneeze at as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know super strong opponents going forward. From Group D, we have Ease MD in blanks for the Alpha Bracket. Kiki, Devidex, Phoenix, Silver, Pyro, Golde, Pancake, and Yushi. And following off that Beta Bracket, we see Sasu, help me out. I'm bad with names.
Badassatron, I believe.
Badassatron. Badassatron. Okay, that's what that says.
And then we have Kya Aidoru with Pastry and Gray below there as well. So once again, we are seeing strong teams in those lower brackets, but you know, there's only so much space in Alpha Bracket, unfortunately, and that's what makes things so competitive in this tourney.
Yeah, I mean, you're really fighting, especially we saw earlier in Group B. I mean, both Wildcard and Moonlight, very strong teams, but only one of them was able to go on to Alpha Bracket, as Ascension really just wiped them out. Ascension winning again 3-0 to Moonlight in Grand Finals. Amazing game from them. Looking in at Group F, we have Gimme a Sip and Nonchalance level 999 heading on to Alpha Bracket. Pika, Femi, Nilla, Lettuce Seed, Ant, Yeti, Obito, Snipes, and Felty moving on. And then So What and Enderol going into Beta Bracket as well. I mean, you really, even in my opinion, looking at Beta Bracket, it's just Alpha Bracket 2.0 in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, that really is what Beta Bracket is intended to be, so to speak. Like, you have the alpha and then you have the beta, so unfortunately the people just kind of scraping out at the end, not quite going to make it. But I also wanted to make sure that I did a bit of a shout out for the pre-show that we're going to be having. I think that we were saying, you know, oh, it's day one. Some people might think it's more chill. Day two really is where it's at, where all of these teams finally go into their brackets and face off. And before that, all eyes will be on Alpha Bracket. So we are going to have a pre-show with some of your favorite commentators talking through perhaps who they think's going to come out on top, and have people just, gab and yap about it. And it can be so interesting to hear everyone's opinions and maybe some insights, especially from these commentators that have their eye and their pulse on what's going on. So that is, of course, going to be Glitch Cactus, Pop Gun, Saf, and Hammy, some of my favorite people that I've been on the mic with. So be sure to tune in to the pre-show tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me, even just looking at the pre-show, it reminds me of my days in low level watching the pre-show for Low Ink. I mean, it's the same feeling. I mean, it's so incredibly like exciting seeing all of these some of the best commentators really just analyzing all of these teams going in. I mean, day 2, if you thought day 1 was intense, you're gonna be in for a show for day 2, to say the least. So make sure you check out 20XX collaborating with Cactus Patch for the 20XX pre-show. Glitch Cactus, Pop Gun, Sap, and Hammy. Make sure to check that out before day 2 begins.
Absolutely. Whether you're maybe a casual who doesn't know so much about these teams, or you're opinionated like I am and you're like, I want to hear everybody else's opinions, so I can be in the chat like, what? No, totally. Moonlight's taking it. PXG for sure. Azure, they've got it. Like, I think even so, it's just lovely to hear these people talk. These are some of the commentators with some great personalities that I love. And also, I think we will have a desk for analysis as well. 20XX is collaborating with Beep to give you some of the stats and talk some information. So that's going to be Rissa, Nito, Saf, and Hammy. Some great people who I love hearing on the mic as well. So I think last time we had a major, people loved hearing those stats from Beep. I would tune in and see what's going on with that, so you can hear some of the crazy stats we have.
I mean, also, I just want to give a shout out to the titles throughout throughout the graphics, especially Hammy, who's still Canadian. After in the earlier graphic, Hammy just had the title of Canadian, and sure enough, for for Beef, nothing's changed. He's still Canadian.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to the people behind the graphics. I mean, they did a great job, and I mean, really, the entire production crew from 20XX has been putting such a huge amount of work into making this tournament happen, and so far, it's been incredible, Sasu.
I'm inclined to agree. Day 1 is finally done. As you can see on screen, Duck Motif came out on top, so they are going to be joining No Idea LOL in in that alpha bracket. So congratulations to them. Going to be super lovely seeing Duck Motif and Fall Guys will be sent instead to that beta bracket. But, we'll see if they come out on top. I think finishing out all those calls we're making for every single group and who will be in alpha bracket. And the following brackets, Seitei War and Sun Eater making, at least Seitei War, of course, making a clean break for alpha bracket. Sun Eater a little bit bumpier despite being that first seed, but ultimately they do climb their way out of the hole and send Sanagi down to that beta bracket.
From Group G, we have, of course, Hypernova making a great move. We have Synapse, Flame King, Henlo, Storm, and Palu. And then in second place, Sizgi with Bake, Aura Boy 36. Number 2 ranked Jester. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Matt. Yeah, Syzygy was the first, we saw that before. Syzygy was the first seed, and Hypernova overcame them to get to the end there. So, on my soul, Prosper, Grape, Dylan, and Jovan. This is low-key just Healbook, plus Dylan is what's happening here. But all of these members, of course, they are in Div X between, I think, Banter Bakery and Healbook, so you can also catch them in Ludi, but they cruise on forward to Alpha Bracket along with Beaver.
Yeah, I mean, it's so competitive at this stage, and as you said before, it's gonna be really hard to really fit all of these high and top level players into the alpha bracket. So some of them have to fall into that beta bracket. So beta bracket is just gonna be as intense as alpha, to say the least. But an incredible performance, to say the least. And I believe it's about time that we stop yapping and wrap up the stream. Don't you say, Sasu?
Yes, but before we do so, we'll make sure to get those plugs in. So, Matthew Mega, go ahead and tell the people about where they can find you online.
You can find me anywhere at Matthew Mega. I've been doing a lot more commentating. Check out Synthwaves and Div 2 of Ludi. To say the least, you'll be seeing me a lot more. I got 2 upcoming lands that I have to attend to, so you might see me live for those as well. But Sasu, where can they find you?
You can find me online at Sassy in Your Pants, SASUIN, the letters UR, pants. I'm going to also be at Big Dapple 10. That is on my birthday, so make sure to come out, even if it's just to spectate. And of course, I have to once again shout out to make sure that you're there for the analysis desk, 20XX. X beep, as well as our pre-show that will be there tomorrow, so tune in for that. Thank you, 20XX, and we will see day 2. See you tomorrow, I guess.
Bye bye.